Grace and peace, everybody. We are back. Happy Monday to you all. Prayerfully, you had a fantastic day, whatever that may have been. Prayerfully, it was a great day. Nonetheless, we are going to get kicked off with our discussion on, we're going to be looking at a couple of Charlie Kirk videos, and we're going to be doing some dissection, of course. But before then, I got a lot of housekeeping that we want to tackle. So what I'm going to do very quickly is earlier today, in the comment section, the comment section is a crazy place. It's a crazy place. There were some people that reminded me of just how poor our analytical thinking skills are here in the United States. They really wanted me to remember that. Like, Jason, you don't know just how bad we think. You just don't know how crazy it is that our thought processes are, Jason. We really want you to know just how ignorant we are. So I got a couple of videos, a couple of comments that I'm like, we got to talk about this stuff, y'all. We got to. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, you can't be this obtuse. You really, truly can't. But before we get too far afield, I do want to talk about another thing as well. Shout out to you. What's going on, Texas mother? How are you? I did start a little bit early because I want to get some of this stuff off. I don't want to be on here all night, but I will be. I don't, trust me, I will be here all night. I just don't want to have to be here all night because I didn't finish up everything I planned on talking about. And I'm also making sure that all of my streams are looking right. So that's why I'm looking over to the side at the current moment. But I am going to be zeroing in on this. So I want to talk about, before I even start there, I want to bring up, I think the overall spirit of the conversation today will be about how you cannot unhear a lie. And of course, most of you all know that the lie that we were dealing with this weekend was the whole conversation about Erika, Kirk, and the whole Epstein foolishness, which is our culture, man. We our society really needs to have we need an enema, man. We need an enema. Like this culture is in bad shape, and we're cooked because our outrage on certain things, but yet our argumentation for the same thing in another realm is just that it's going to have to be studied by science. The inconsistency of the human population and our outrage is just it's going to have to be studied by science. It's crazy work. But I don't want to go too far before I say, what's up, Robin? How are you? Appreciate you stopping through. Of course, Texas mom, we see you. We see you. Mike is in the building. Grace and peace to you, sir. How are you? What do we have here? What's going on? Solomon up in the building. Hi, Jason and the chat. Grace and peace to you. Thank you so much. Manchester City. Okay. Is that over in the UK or across the pond, so to speak? I think it is. Shout out to you from across the pond. I appreciate you stopping through and hollering at your boy. I appreciate it for sure. So last week, I told you that you cannot unhear a lie. And I brought in the passage from 2 Samuel. And I forgot that the story, I knew it. I thought you was over here across the pond. Good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping through. There's my favorite realtor, 2020. How are you? Grace and peace to you. And I apologize because the story of David and Mephibosheth, I said you can find it in 2 Samuel 4 all the way to 9. The culmination, the upshot, the final portion of that is actually in chapter 19. I was like, I cannot realize, where is the rest of the story? Like, why? And reading through 2 Samuel, I was like, oh, it actually is at the end of 2 Samuel. So it's like, it never actually finishes. So it doesn't finish until actually chapter 19. Now, why am I bringing that up? Because I'm going to show you why this is the culmination of what happens when somebody spreads a lie and is brought to bear. Okay, so this is 2 Samuel chapter 19. And let me just bring you up here at the top. David is dealing with all of his enemies, right? Everybody who was against him, he's going to deal with them after he's returned. He's been returned to the throne. And so I'll start at 16 because I think it's going to be a fun read. And Shimei, the son of Jerah, the Benjaminite from Baram, hurried to come down to the men of Judah to meet King David. And with him were 1,000 men of Benjamin. And Ziba, the servant of the house of Saul, y'all know who Ziba is, with his 15 sons and his 20 servants, rushed down to Jordan before the king. And they crossed the ford and to bring the king's household and to do his pleasure. And Shimei, the son of Jerah, fell down before the king as he was about to cross the Jordan, and said to the king, "Let not my lord hold me guilty, or remember how your servant did wrong on the day my lord the king left Jerusalem. Do not let the king take it to heart, for your servant knows that I have sinned. Therefore behold, I have come this day, the first of all the house of Joseph, to come down to meet my lord the king." Abishai, the son of Zariah, answered, "Shall not Shimei be put to death for this? Because he cursed the Lord's anointed." But David said, "What have I to do with you, son of Zariah, that you should this day be as an adversary to me? Shall anyone be put to death in Israel this day? For do I not know that I am this day king over Israel and the king of Shimei? You shall not die." And the king gave him this oath. I'm going to keep on going. And here comes Mephibosheth. And Mephibosheth, the son of Saul, came down to meet the king. He had neither taken care of his feet, nor trimmed his beard, nor washed his clothes from the day that the king departed until the day he came back safely. And when he came to Jerusalem to meet the king said to him, "Why did you not go with me, Mephibosheth?" He answered, "My lord, O king, my servant." So this is the truth of what happened. "My lord, O king, my servant deceived me. For your servant said to him," he's talking about Ziba, "I will saddle a donkey for myself, that I may ride on it and go to the king. For your servant is lame. He was slandered. He has slandered your servant to my lord the king." Ziba slandered Mephibosheth. "But my lord the king is like an angel of God. Do therefore what seems good to you. For all my father's house were but men doomed to death before my lord the king. But you set your servant among those who eat at your table. What further right have I than to cry to the king?" And so Mephibosheth said, "Hey, look, I was basically damned before you met me. I was doomed. You the one that set me free. You're the one that saved me." And so David realizes that, hey, Ziba said something, but now I'm hearing the other side of the story from Mephibosheth. How do I deal with this situation? Because he had already given all of Mephibosheth's property and land to Ziba. And so here's David coming back. And the king said to him, "Why speak any more on your affairs? I have decided. You and Ziba shall divide the land." Ziba was getting nothing. Then he went and had everything. And now he's just going to have to split it in half. He went from having nothing and lied in order to get some part of it. And now David said, "Why don't you and Ziba just split the land?" But here it comes. And Mephibosheth said to the king, "Oh, let him take it all, since my lord the king has come safely home." So David made the wrong decision here, because Ziba, his servant, lied on Mephibosheth and cost him everything that he had been restored by from his grandfather, King Saul. Where am I going with all of that? That's what we see here and what we're seeing in 4K with all of this upheaval over Erika Kirk. Because remember, Project Constipation was lying, and he knew that he was lying. He knew that what he was saying about her being in the Epstein file was not true. And it has now is left the realm of just social media and TPUSA and all that kind of stuff like that. Now we're seeing it out there in the mainstream zeitgeist. So everybody that's like, "Oh, well, he took it back." Well, he didn't take it back, because the video is still up on Project Constipation's page. So he didn't take it back. He just said what he said was wrong, but he left it up there and then retweeted what he put up there so y'all can see what he said, which is nasty work. I just want you to see this real quick, and I'm not going to be long with this one. I always say that, right? I'm not going to be long with this, but I just want you to see, like, this is what happens when somebody lies on somebody else. So here we have Eric Benet. He's an R&B singer, right? No political leaning arguments or anything of that nature. Look what he said. I stand corrected. Not F this woman, period, but F this woman, double exclamation point. And what is the point? Headlines 360, again, is just a news outlet that's taken that story from Project Constipation and has run with it. New documents reveal Erika Kirk used to work for Epstein. Do not stop talking about the Epstein files. What documents are they talking about? And if you read the comments over here, and this is on Instagram, and it's down in the description of this video, by the way. If you read on Instagram, these people are completely rabid. And you can tell that the lies that Candace has told have not, they're not contained. They're, as the scriptures say, like it's a fire, like it's a forest fire of false teaching that has just gone out there. And ultimately, God will judge. Ultimately, God will be the judge of the situation. So I don't think that Erika Kirk is some angel. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that it still doesn't give us justification to lie on somebody like that and to smear their name for no reason. There isn't a reason. You can say, well, you don't like the way she responded to something, and who cares what you think? I don't think she was being genuine, and who cares what you think? Like that's not a rationale. And even in that, so what? I don't like the way you do something. That doesn't mean I get to lie on you. Like, how do we go from I dislike something to now let me go ahead and smear and defame your name? Because as we saw here with Mephibosheth, that's basically akin to just ruining somebody's whole reputation. And we've now made a cottage industry and now giving hearty approval to people lying on other people for no reason, none whatsoever. That's crazy work, y'all. That's crazy work. So I wanted to just do that, and I wanted to talk about it. So I appreciate y'all tapping in with me. Thank you so much. I wouldn't doubt if TMZ had a role in it. But see, this is the thing, like, well, first of all, we have to shout the truth louder than they shout the lie. That's for sure. We can't whisper the truth. The truth has to be yelled out that that Project Constipation was lying, and that everybody else putting it out there and now trying to do a video response to it, but they still retweet the video that he put out, so it still gets out there. You know, that has to be called out. That has to be called out. So I want to show you another example, and this is what I'm talking about, where people don't think robustly about what they're saying. And this one is going to actually be kind of funny because you're not going to believe what this person sent me. Okay. By the way, on my channel, you cannot send me links. So you can't send me links. A lot of you all send me links to good content creators. You cannot do that in the comment section. They don't get published, if you've noticed that. Right? Okay. I don't want links posted in my chat because I don't know who they are. And sometimes they're good. A lot of time they're good, but a lot of the time they're not. You will not be surprised. Some of the things that get posted in the chat, and thankfully you all don't get to see them because they get filtered out. On my side, I can see what those are. And so I'm gonna bring this in because this shout out to this person. This is gonna be a Dusty Comments episode or segment, if you will. Let me bring this in. All right, so this person, this is on my video about Charlie Kirk speaking to the young guy last week, okay? And this person said this: Charlie Kirk was 100% a racist. Let me make that, there you go. He was 100%. That means there's no shadow of turning. He's 100% a racist. He called Black women unintelligent and proudly proclaimed that he specifically racially profiled professionals on account of their skin color, specifically when they were Black. He did all of this and claimed to be a Christian. This dude is looking up at us from hell. Okay, I'm going to just tell you right now, in these people's minds, the biggest sin is racism. This dude has sent Charlie Kirk to hell because he did not agree with DIE policies. And said, now he's saying it, Charlie Kirk said, call Black women. We're going to actually see the actual quote, because this gentleman actually sent me the quote, which I think is very interesting. So I just said, so this man has sent Charlie Kirk to hell, separated from Christ because he believes that Charlie Kirk was a racist. Can you show me where racism is the sin that separates one, the unpardonable sin that sends somebody to hell? No questions asked, fast track them to hell? That express lane to hell? That's some crazy work, y'all. That's some crazy work. So I just said this. Show me where he said that. And the person replied and they sent me a link. Now, as I told you before, just a second ago, you can't post links in my chat, which is fine. I don't think that, I don't want you to be able to just post links without me being able to see what they are. Because again, there's a lot of foolishness that gets posted. Okay. So I don't want to do that. So that's why I don't allow comments. I'm sorry. I don't allow posts to go in without me at least vetting them before I see them or before. And sometimes I will allow them to go up. If you ever notice, that's why I can't post my own email address in the chat. I have to spell it out because it won't allow you to post it, which is fine. Me too. So, right. I have to abide by the rules that I've set in place. So at least I'm being consistent though, right? Can I get some credit for that? Can I get a little bit of credit for being consistent? Okay. So this person actually sent me, however, they sent me the video that they want to point out where Charlie Kirk is being a racist. And very rarely do I do this, but I want you to see who it is that actually posted the video. And the video says this: Charlie Kirk, full quote on Black women not having brain processing power. Okay, I'm like, okay, well, that sounds like a serious thing, but I decided to look at the actual video description. This is the video that the person that told me that Charlie Kirk was a racist, that he wants to prove that Charlie Kirk thought was a racist. But let me just read this to you. I think this is extremely interesting. His full quote showing that he did not say that Black women don't have the brain processing power. He never said that. He said that 4 very specific women didn't have it in their opinion, in his opinion, but it had nothing to do with them being Black. It had everything to do with them admitting that they could not get into college without affirmative action quotas and some of the numerous dumb things they said over the years. He was making fun and criticizing them, not Black women as a whole. And at the end, we get a great example of that from one of the 4 that is considered to be the most brilliant. You don't have to agree with him, but it wasn't racist. It's funny because this gentleman sent me this link. This is his evidence that Charlie Kirk was, quote unquote, a racist. So I'm going to just play it. I'm just going to play it. I'm probably not going to even stop because we got a lot of videos later on to stop and go with Charlie Kirk. I just want you to check it out. Green hearts in the chat, and you let me know what you think. I want to hear what y'all think about it. So this will be interactive. Let's go.
You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously.
Oh wait, hold on. Sorry.
You had to go steal a white person. You really have to wonder. In fact, if we would have said 3 weeks ago, Blake, if we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, and particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color, but I can declare that I did not graduate on affirmative action. This is my personal story.
I hear because of action affirmative. She can't even say that. We know. It's very obvious to us that you were not smart enough to be able to get in on your own. I couldn't make it on my own, so I needed to take opportunities from someone more deserving. You know, this is how arrogant Joy Reid and Ketanji Brown Jackson and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee are. They're so narcissistic, they think this is persuasive.
And I just want to stop for a second. Is he saying that every single Black woman falls into this category? In the chat, is he saying every single Black woman this applies to? Like, did he? Did he say every single one? So, no, he didn't. No, he absolutely did not. And this is the thing, like, and somebody said it right here. There we go. Taking offense is a personal choice. If you say truth without malice intent, then it is not offensive, regardless of whether the person takes offense or not. The man didn't say it. He didn't say anything about anybody else but those 4 women that he keeps naming. But let him finish up. Shout out to Charlie.
They think we're like, oh, of course. That's why we need affirmative action, because you have impressed us with your brilliance.
Oh, sorry about that.
Do you agree with Justice Ginsburg that there are physical differences between men and women that are enduring?
Senator, respectfully, I am not familiar with that particular quote or case,
Okay.
so it's hard for me to
Okay.
comment as to whether
All
or
right.
not.
I'd love to get your opinion on that, and you can submit that. Do you interpret Justice Ginsburg's meaning of men and women as male and female?
Again, because I don't know the case, I don't know how I interpret it. I need to read the whole
Okay.
thing. You know,
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
can I provide a definition?
Mhm.
No,
Yeah,
I can't.
you can't?
crazy
Not
word.
in
Okay.
this context.
So you
I'm not a
believe the meaning
biologist.
of the word woman is so unclear and controversial that you can't give me a definition?
So I wanted to bring that up. I wanted to bring that up because this person literally sent me that. And let me pull this back in. This person sent me as evidence that Charlie Kirk said that all Black women. Charlie Kirk was 100% a racist. He called Black women unintelligent and proudly proclaimed that he specifically racially profiled professionals on account of their skin color. Did he say anything of that nature? But this person actually uploaded this or sent me this link, especially when they were Black. He said nothing of the sort. But this person sent me the link. This is the link that the person sent me. He did all of this and claimed to be a Christian. This dude is looking up at us from hell. Like I said before, the only sin in the woke ideology is the sin of quote unquote racism. Nothing else is a sin. There is only one sin. They've reduced the 10 commandments down to one sin: thou shalt not be racist. So if they claim that you're racist, you can go to hell on that. It don't matter. It matters none about your theology, your doctrine. Has none of that stuff has any weight or bearing. If they dub you a racist, you are going to hell. And that's it. So when I said prove it, and this person sent me that link, this is his evidence that Charlie Kirk was a racist. And my question to you is, did that demonstrate or show that he was a racist? I think you said she's a DEI hire. I mean, and apparently that's a badge of honor, I guess. Like, why would you want to say the only reason I got in here is because of my skin color, my immutable character trait that I'm highly melanated or male versus female or whatever? Why is that's the only reason I'm doing this job? Because if you said that you got in this job because of your merit, your skill, your ability, I'm the best surgeon, I'm the best lawyer, I'm the best whatever, why would you care that your ethnicity? It almost seems like you're guaranteeing for us to look at you and say, well, maybe you're not the best at it. Just something to think about. Shout out. Being dumb and stupid differs by way of willful ignorance. I love it, Mike. Thank you so much. I'm not a biologist. That was really the whole woman exchange is going to go down. I hate to say that it's going to go down in history, but that right there is going to go down in history. I don't think the person did watch the video. That's a great point as well. I bet you he just did a quick search. Cartman's mom, he did a quick search and said, oh, here it is, and just uploaded and did not realize that the video he posted literally goes against what he said, which is crazy work, man. You're going to have to write that one down. That was some crazy work. When you're a woman but still can't describe what a woman is. I don't even know how that works, Stargazer. I don't understand it. And that right there that's going to have me scratching my head for a while. Like, how do you not know what a woman is when you yourself are a woman? That's some crazy work. But I do want to say we should not get lost in that argumentation. And this will be probably my last little segment of this, is that encouraging you all, the best live chat on the planet, the most electrifying comment section. Don't get it. We ain't got to get into a battle of words. A woman is a woman, period. There we go. End of day. We're done. That's it. We're done. Adult female, adult male, problem solved. We don't have to get into this long argument with them because they want you to get into, well, what is it? They want you to get into all of these weeds. No, y'all go out there in the weeds by yourself. I'm not doing that. We are not going to do that. Oh, car mat mom. Okay, I apologize. Please forgive me. I saw Cartman. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to put our glasses on. We're going to stop acting like we can't see. I appreciate it. But I just think that is super wild, man, that we have gotten to this point where, again, this is not critical thinking. Like, this person literally took the time to type in Charlie Kirk quote about Black women, sent me the link, and it doesn't prove his point. Matter of fact, it disproves his point, which is crazy work, man. That is that is some epic stuff. But isn't that par for this course? Isn't that about on brand for this group? Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me see. I actually want to see the person replied again, but he didn't. So, yeah, I don't see that he replied again. Okay, cool. I think he went. It might be nap time in the kindergarten class. It might be nap time. Shout out for sure. But thank y'all, everybody who's already jumped up in here. Thank y'all so much. Oh gosh, what y'all laughing about? Car mat. I kind of want to know now. What is a car mat mom? I'm translating it that it's the mat that's in the car, and your mom's like a carpool mom, or you got quite a few little people, and that car mat collects all the little goldfish and all that kind of stuff like that. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm thinking, but I could be wrong. What do you have? My son's Carter. Come on, Jason. My sons are Carter and Matt. That was a little bit. I really took that thing way too far, didn't I? I'm over here talking about the car mats and stuff like that, because I got these really cool floor mats that cover like the entire floor of your car, so like nothing can get on the car. I mean, on the carpet. So I guess that's what I was thinking. I was like, I had that on my mind when I saw car mat after I got corrected about Cartman. Oh my gosh! Shout out to Carter and Matthew. Shout out to Carter and Matthew, my guys, my dudes. Shout out to them. I see a lot of people unwilling to listen to nuance of what Charlie was saying. They will never admit he was not racist. Well, let's talk about this one for a second. Old lady 512. One of the problems is that people don't want to actually engage. And I've said this before multiple times. People have an idea, but they've never actually had the idea tested. They've never had the idea tested. It's kind of like, when you have children, they have these ideas that they want to do, but as an adult that it's not going to work, right? They want to take this paper airplane and they want to throw it and fly away to New York City. You're like, that's not going to work, baby. Well, we have life experiences, and we know a lot more than this little person who wants to throw a paper airplane. For some reason or other, my big girl, I don't remember why, but she was into paper airplanes. She was crazy about paper airplanes. She was making them 3 and 4 and 5 an hour. She was just making them, and we have a balcony up here, and she would stand on the balcony and throw it and then go make another 12 and just keep throwing them and try to see how far they would go. They were never going to go further than the last one because they always crash into the wall. But she was always making these paper airplanes. I don't remember. I have to find out why that was, but she was really into paper airplanes. But back to my point. Some of these people, they have an idea. It's never been vetted. It's never been thought out. It's never been nuanced. And a sad but true example of this is if your child doesn't fully understand their faith and they go to college and they get challenged. When they go to college and it's the first time they've been challenged about their faith by a professor or a classmate or whatever like that. And it a lot of the time it ruins kids, right? Because they've never actually been tested in it. They don't know what they believe, or better yet, why they believe it. So that situation there, and to your point that Mom said right here, a lot of these people, they just want to believe that Charlie Kirk was racist because then that way they don't have to deal with anything that he said. And they can just take all of his what he said, put it in this little racism box, and then go put it on the shelf. Because everything he said was racist. Well, when you ask them questions that lead to nuance and say, well, wait, if Charlie Kirk said this, and like I made the point that Charlie Kirk was arguing for Black families. I'm like, well, he's the one that's supposed to be a racist, and he's the one defending Black families. A lot of people lost they literally blew a circuit when I said that because they never thought about the fact that what Charlie Kirk was saying is actually true. That we do need Black families, that we do need men in the home, in the Black community. I'm sorry, a white man saying that, it doesn't change the fact that it's true. When I say it, y'all seem to ignore it. But all of a sudden y'all hear it when Charlie Kirk said it, but you put it in the box of it being racist. But then when I say it, you just ignore it. Because you don't want to be accountable to it. So that is ultimately, in my opinion, old lady, what the, I don't say old lady, I hate that, but that's what I think the problem is. A lot of these people have never really had their ideas challenged. So it's not that they don't want to listen to nuance. They don't want their idea challenged because now they're going to be held accountable for it. Kind of like Jesus and the Pharisees, when he would preach to them the word, and he said, now you're accountable for this. They didn't want to be accountable for it. They want to continue in their lies and deceptions. Oh, what we laughing about? What we laughing about? Shout out to you. Good to see you, Ed Cox. Thank you so much for stopping through. What is happening? There we go, Tanya. How are you? Good to see you. If he was a racist, why did he hire Candace? Make it make sense. And let's just say there are other nationalities and other people groups that are high. TPUSA was not lily white. So why are y'all acting like that? But see, that's what I'm saying, Texas Mother. They don't actually think about, they don't want to think about that. It's so much easier because if you don't say that Charlie Kirk, because again, remember in this woke ideology, the only sin is to be the sin of racism. So if Charlie Kirk was a racist, you don't have to consider anything else that he said. And then bada boom, we're done. We're finished. Woo, I can continue in my sin because Charlie Kirk was a racist. What'd you say, Jen? It doesn't need to make sense. It just has to make you angry. There we go. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all so much, everybody who jumped in. Yeah, this is a wonderful point, Mike said here. It's easier to deflect than to defend your position. How many times have you seen that? How many times have you seen that? And we're going to probably see it today because we're going to look at, I'm going to save it for a second. Let me finish looking at these great comments right here. My son-in-law and his brother are tried to prison her Whitmer in Michigan. Really? Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. It's taken out of context for their agenda. Well, there we go for sure. Yeah, Trump derangement syndrome. Remember, we got Charlie derangement syndrome. We got truth derangement syndrome. I mean, let's just be honest. These people don't want to actually think. They don't want to think about it. Oh, actually says, why I cannot stop laughing when people are trying Charlie Kirk is a racist. Like they're doing their very best to put him in that racist box, if you will, when in actuality, they're the ones that are in the box. Like, what is wrong with you people? But I digress. All right. One of the things that Candace has really made a lot of hay about is that Charlie Kirk hated Ben Shapiro. She really has tried to say that. Nobody has seen proof or evidence to that fact. And so I thought it was interesting that one of the last interviews that Charlie Kirk did was with Ben Shapiro. I just want to pull this in, and I just thought it was super interesting. And I just want to hear what y'all think about Charlie's interaction with Ben. Does this come across as somebody who, I secretly hate this guy or anything like that? Or, I think this guy is a terrible dude, anything of that nature? Is that what you're getting from this interaction? And some of you probably have already seen this. I know it's not new. Let me double check the dates. So it was posted 1 year ago. Charlie Kirk died 6 months ago. So about, what are we looking at? June of last year, give or take. Okay. So this is last year, Charlie Kirk and Ben having a little conversation. And this is on Ben's page on the Daily Wire. And I believe they were at AmFest. So don't quote me on that. But let's just check it out and you tell me what y'all think. I appreciate y'all jumping in. Let's see. Okay. I appreciate y'all jumping in. Y'all know how we like to do it. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
The coolest part of what I get to do is be around just the most awesome people on the planet, right? Like just sitting back and watching Elon Musk and President Trump talk about consequential political issues. Like, what am I doing here, right? Like, I didn't go to college. I'm a kid from Chicago. It really goes to show that this country still has meritocracy at its core. And I think that is a testament to why this country is so great, that if you prove yourself, if you have the right work ethic, if you have a little grit and resolve, you can end up around the kings of today.
Charlie Kirk, founder of TPUSA, my dude, you've built an actually enormous thing. Congratulations. Seriously amazing.
Thank you, Ben. It's great to see you, and thanks for being here. And yeah, it's been kind of a wild journey. You're one of the few people I could say you were at the foundational levels.
I mean, I remember 18-year-old Charlie Kirk going around the David Horowitz Freedom Center at the Breakers, trying to meet donors. And I remember saying to every one of those donors, this guy's going to be head of the RNC. And then you just basically built your own RNC.
Yeah, we kind of looked at the RNC and we said, maybe we could do something, in our own likeness and image. But no, I mean, glory be to God. It's amazing.
I'm going to try not to stop a whole lot. Are you getting that this guy right here on the screen hates this guy right here? Is that what you're getting? Can y'all just real quick in the chat, can you yay or nay, yes or no? Are you getting that this guy hates this guy? That these gentlemen hate one another? I mean, some of us, if this is what hate is, a lot of us are like, boy, I wish I had some friends that hated me like this. Like I'm not getting hate vibes, if you will. What do they call it? Ops. I'm not getting ops behavior over here. Like what? like I would absolutely. I got some people that don't like me. If this is what don't like is, I would rather these people don't like me like Ben and Charlie didn't like each other. That's some crazy work. Like be more like Ben and Charlie. In the world where people hate you, be like Ben and Charlie. Like this is some crazy work. But this is what I'm saying. Like Candace is a lot. I'm gonna back up a little bit because I thought this opening was fantastic. So I am gonna talk a little bit. I'm gonna try not to, but I try. Candace keeps saying that Charlie hated Ben. What are you talking about? Does that mean that they dotted every I and crossed every T? Let's stop being silly. Like we're not children. We don't have to think like that. But I don't think that it's fair to say there is no proof or evidence that these men don't like one another. All right, bring it back in. Let's go.
USA, my dude, you've built an actually enormous thing. Congratulations. Seriously amazing.
Thank you, Ben. It's great to see you, and thanks for being here. And yeah, it's been kind of a wild journey. You're one of the few people I could say you were at the foundational levels.
I mean, I remember 18-year-old Charlie Kirk going around the David Horowitz Freedom Center at the Breakers, trying to meet donors. And I remember saying to every one of those donors, this guy's going to be head of the RNC. And then you just basically built your own RNC.
Yeah, we kind of looked at the RNC and we said, maybe we could do something, in our own likeness and image. But no, I mean, glory be to God. It's amazing. And this election cycle was a big test for us. And we were thrilled with the result.
I have to say, it's actually incredible. So there was a tape of you from election night when it was announced that President Trump had won, and you got really emotional. And I was moved by it because I know how much work you've put in over the last 10 years just to get to this point and to be so influential in this election. And listen, I mean, you were handed an enormous responsibility, and that's a super hard thing. Yeah. I mean, they basically said, okay, why don't you just handle voter turnout? It's like, what in the world? So explain to me how you even build that sort of machine that leads to President Trump being reelected.
Well, it was a couple of things. We had President Trump's back throughout the primary and the whole process. So there weren't a lot of us that were kind of building this kind of machinery. And it turned out once we got to the general election, we must remember that the odds did not.
Okay, I just realized I did not put this video link in the description. So I'm going to stop for a second and give us a second. Because I really want you all to have this video. And I will make sure I put it in the video as well, down in the description of the video. But I realize it's not there. So I want you to have this because I really think this is something we need to put this out there and just completely shellac that lie that Charlie Kirk hated Ben Shapiro and vice versa. I see no evidence to that point. If this is the evidence, if they hated one another, where is it? Where is that evidence? All right, so let's bring that back in. I just wanted to make sure it's there. I do apologize. I'll try to do that while we're watching this as well. Shout out to the best live chat on the planet.
Not look great for his general election chances. I mean, from the lawfare to just kind of the party was not completely yet behind him. And so we volunteered. We're like, hey, we know how to do this on college campuses. We want to do some voter turnout stuff. And because of an FEC ruling that happened this last spring, you're allowed to coordinate with presidential campaigns. It was an election ruling. Actually, Mark Elias sued the FEC and won, and he thought it would help the Democrats. And so we started working with a great campaign team, Susie Wiles, James Blair, and we said, hey, especially in Arizona, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, some of these states will really have grassroots infrastructure. We believe that we can help the campaign and fill the gaps in and hire bodies. And so we went out on a hiring spree. We hired 1,500 full-time people in the key battleground states. Massive, like an enormous sum. And our hypothesis was that we do not have to take the electorate as is, meaning we can make the electorate more in a MAGA image. The traditional Republican orthodoxy was that you have to win swing voters, and they're the most important voters. And that's probably true in lower turnout elections. But in high turnout elections, you can actually change the electorate to be a little more masculine, a little more rural, a little more gun owning, a little more muscular class, a little more MAGA. So we said, how do we turn Trump supporters into voters? Because it's one thing to say that I like Donald Trump, I like the vibe, he's great, I watch him on TikTok, and then turn him into a voter. That's where we came in. So the second part of our hypothesis is that we need to dominate early voting month, which is that we as Republicans are foolish to not engage in those 30 days of early voting and act as if everyone should just show up on one day. And so we and Elon and a couple others on the outside built this force that was really underestimated and scoffed at and smeared and honestly slandered by the media. Oh, Charlie Kirk and Elon Musk kind of doing this voter turnout operation. It turns out that what we did worked. And it actually, the credit really goes to President Trump because it was the easiest get out the vote operation ever because we were talking to people that already liked him, that knew him, and his name ID had full saturation. We just needed to turn that support from, yes, I like him, to a ballot in a box. And we did that hundreds of thousands of times over a 30-day period in the key battleground states.
And not to get too much ahead of ourselves, because this is an enormous victory, but looking forward 4 years, these were, as you say, many of these are low propensity voters who love President Trump, who's a unique political figure, the most unique political figure of our lifetime, a historic political figure, probably the most historic American political figure of the last.
Okay, I'm going to back up a little second. I'm going to back up for a second. Shout out to Jasmine. I love this comment right here. This point about voter turnout, I think, is really, really useful, especially considering local lesser attended elections. I really want to, what I think, I'm going to give you what I believe is happening. And I don't think that we as just the hoi polloi, just your normal average day Janes and Joes should miss what Charlie Kirk said as it relates to voter turnout and getting people excited, going from liking to actually going to the ballot and voting for. I really believe that what Candace is doing and what the left is doing is trying to demoralize this operation, because they know that if they can get you feeling bad, if they can get you feeling icky, if they can get you feeling demoralized and unexcited about going to the midterms, because midterms are definitely less exciting than presidential elections. then if they can just get a certain number of you all, a certain number of us to not want to go vote, to not want to participate, to not want to be a part of this because you think some this, that, and the other, then they know that they will absolutely eviscerate and shellac us in the midterm and cause the next 2 years of Trump to just be a waste. He'll be a lame president and it'll just be a fight. We'll be watching some of the craziest stuff we've ever seen. So that's why we don't lose heart. We don't lose heart. We don't get discouraged because of all of this other foolishness. That's why I believe so much has been going on against TPUSA as an entity, as well as against Erika Kirk as the head of TPUSA and as an individual herself, because it demoralizes and it removes that excitement, that energy that was there before that brought President Trump in and has started to hopefully turn the tide. Well, now they want to completely wreck it. And that's what I think is happening. So shout out to there. All right. Appreciate y'all. What's going on? I see my brother up in the building. There he is, President Not Perfect in the building, dropping them green grenades in the building. Thank you so much. They want us to be hopeless. They want us to be hopeless. Now, our hope ultimately is not in presidents and elections. They're not in representatives or any of that kind of stuff or ballots. Our hope is ultimately in Christ. That being the case, however, we do live in the best country on the planet, bar none. Why would we want to not see this prosper? Why would we not want to see our great grandchildren be in a country that's better than the one that we're currently living in even now? We want it to be even better. So let us keep going. Shout out to the best live chat on the planet. Let's go.
A century.
Yes.
Given that fact, are these people that can come out again? Are these people that you can reach again, duplicate again for another candidate, say J.D. Vance?
Yeah, and that's the question. And the answer is, even if we only do some of it and then do better with high propensity voters, of which Donald Trump was actually doing worse with, then we could still have electoral success. So let's take J.D. Vance, for example, who a dear friend, I think he'd be a phenomenal president, is that he can definitely do better with higher propensity voters, more college educated people that might not have liked Donald Trump's approach or tone or whatever excuse they would give. And even if we get some of those low propensity voters to engage in the process, you have the best of all worlds. And so what we have proven, though, is an Obama-style get out the vote turnout machine can be built on the right. And that was always the question, is we as the right, like, can we win celebrity culture? Can we do the thing where we change the electorate? And it turns out, yes, we can. And that, again, we were just kind of benefiting from the draft of the president, right? Meaning that he had such a life force behind him and so many people knew him and wanted to support him. And it was so illuminating because we hosted the president with Bobby Kennedy back in August when that endorsement happened. And
it was an amazing event. And Bobby gave an amazing speech.
It was terrific. And we were honored to be part of it. And we asked the campaign, we said, hey, can we do voter registration? Because, we don't want to step into it. I said, yeah, of course you can. So 18,000 people show up. We registered 900 first-time voters. 900 out of 18,000 were Trump supporters willing to stand in line in the Arizona heat for 3 hours, and they weren't registered to vote. And so all of a sudden we said, guys, not everyone who buys a MAGA hat is even registering to vote. And this is the forgotten country. These are people that make the country work, the plumbers, electricians, the welders, the carpenters, the police officers, the firefighters. And so our theory of the case worked. Everyone doubted us. And the secondary part of that was then dominate on social media. This is where the Trump campaign deserves enormous credit, from putting Donald Trump on Joe Rogan, on Theo Vaughn, on these over-the-top type podcast situations that communicated to the people that were lower propensity. And so then by the time we knocked on the door and said, hey, we need to collect your ballot. Yeah, I just saw President Trump on Theo Vaughn. I just saw him on Rogan. He's amazing. So we are going to the people that aren't watching CNN. They're not watching the traditional news channels and media. And we were able to then, in Arizona, chase over 200,000 ballots. Donald Trump won by 197,000 votes. In Wisconsin, chase 60,000 ballots of low propensity voters, won by 30,000 votes. And so we're not taking credit for anything, but we definitely helped play a role.
You played an enormous role. And I want to ask you sort of how you got to this point. So for people who don't know the story, I mean, I was here watching from the outside at a distance for a lot of the story, but for people who don't know sort of the Charlie Kirk Turning Point USA story, why don't you explain where this came from? Because it is an amazing story.
Yeah, it's an only in America story. And I'm an entrepreneur at heart. You know that. You've done a great job building the Daily Wire. And I've watched from afar on that and kind of see this become a beast. And on the Turning Point USA side, I always felt like we could do culture better, and we could definitely do the college campus, high school outreach kind of space better, that it needs some disruption. And honestly, I hated losing, and I saw us losing. And I know you had a similar kind of drive to the left, and that we weren't playing on their cultural terms, and that we were constantly in retreat. And so the idea was that, can we bring entrepreneurial disruptive principles to a nonprofit space and, create more chapters, create more high school experiences, create events like this? Can we do the grassroots thing better? And again, I have to give credit to President Trump. I know I sound like I'm repeating myself, but he kind of created an environment where politics and culture were almost indecipherable, right? And, the old expression, Andrew Breitbart, a phenomenal legend, mentor of yours, and I followed, at Breitbart.com after him, and he was just amazing. Politics flows downstream from culture. Now it's closer like politics and culture are almost
It's a merger. It's a merger, yeah.
Exactly right. It's a merger. They're kind of one and the same, that you don't get politics without culture and culture without politics. And so we at Turning Point would say, look at ourselves as a
Y'all know where I am with that. Everything stems from your religious beliefs. Everything, your culture, your politics, your family, your financing, your morality, everything is downstream from what you say and what you believe about who God is. So everything else falls in line after that point. So I understand what he's saying, because Andrew Breitbart is not one who professes to be a Christian or anything of that nature. I don't know what his belief system is, but politics can flow downstream from culture, but nothing gets away from the fact of you answering the question, who is God? Once you answer that question, everything else, all the other things are downstream from that. That's it. Oh, of course, Jay, they're enemies, man. They despise one another, right? Don't you know that? That's what Candace told us. Candace told us that Charlie hated Ben. And by the way, this is at AmFest 2024 after Trump had won. So of course, you remember we were told that Ben had to pay to get in. He had to pay money to become to be a part of it. Okay, sure, whatever you say. Shout out to the best live chat. Let's go.
Cultural transformation machine, from our influencer network, for some of the voices that we've helped elevate and lift up, from some of the things that we've done on college campuses and high school campuses. And it's just been 12 years of grinding, and a lot of people that thought we weren't going to last or that they could try to take us out. And the team deserves just such enormous credit. And there's been so many different inflection points and people that have poured into us and donors that believed in us. And, here we are today, thanks to the, glory and grace of God, with 400,000 donors and hundreds of thousands of students. And this event, we have 20,000 people coming. They're thrilled to hear from you, by the way. And the president keynoting this on Sunday, which we consider to be, a great testament to the work and what we've done. And we can kind of look at the landscape now, and we can say we are, as an organization, one of the more important organizations on the right, and something where the left never took us seriously. And I think that's what really...
It's an understatement. I mean, you may be the most important organization on the right at this point. And when you look at also sort of what your life is like now, could you have imagined that that's what your life was going to look like when you were 18? I mean, first of all, I don't think anyone could have imagined Trump himself, right? I mean, he just came in literally from nowhere, wrecking ball, destroys everything in his wake. And you, on a daily basis, get to interact with President Trump. You get to interact with Elon Musk. It's a pretty cool life.
I mean, it's awesome, man. And it's just, I have to just say, thank you, God, for putting us in this situation. And you kind of know what it's like to be in the public eye. Obviously you do. And that's fine. That comes with a different life, a lot of death threats, a lot of derailments. The coolest part of what I get to do is be around just the most awesome people on the planet, right? Like just sitting back and watching Elon Musk and President Trump talk about consequential political issues. Like, what am I doing here, right? Like, I didn't go to college. I'm a kid from Chicago. I'm 31 years old. And it really goes to show that this country still has meritocracy at its core. Mm-hmm. I didn't go to a great school, obviously. I wasn't born to like a very prestigious family. Did a couple things, took a couple risks, turned out. And I think that is a testament to why this country is so great, that if you prove yourself, if you have the right work ethic, if you have a little bit of grit and resolve, you can end up, around the kings of today. And I think that's really cool. So yeah, I have to pinch myself all the time. I never could have imagined it. I mean, I remember the first time I met President Trump, I was like, my life is set. I met a president, right? I'm all good. And, now we are, in 2024 going into 2025, I have a great relationship with the president. He asked me my opinion on certain things here or there. And again, he believed in us as an organization and me when others did not. And that also speaks to him. He's fiercely loyal. We've had his back and he's had our back. And he's always believed in us. And now, everything here is largely testament to how he's poured into us.
So looking at the next couple of years, at least before the midterms, what are sort of the big things on your agenda item? What do you think the big things should be on the GOP agenda item? What are the things that are also doable? Because obviously, when it comes to politics, I think there's a tendency sometimes to say, well, if we just have sort of a Nietzschean will, we can ram through anything we want. But as we can see, from even this week. It's a pretty complicated process. There's a lot of sausage making that goes on. So what are the things that as conservatives we should all be looking forward to?
Yeah,
over the
it's
next
not
couple
all
years?
will to power.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Thus spoke Zarathustra is a dangerous political manual, to say the least. I will say that as far as Turning Point Action, we have a very simple ask on the political side, which is our goal and our hope is that we want the Republican Party to be as conservative as its voters. So we think it's unhealthy if there are senators from deep red states that act as if they are metropolitan Rockefeller Republicans. And the first kind of test of this is, can Donald Trump get his cabinet, right? Absent any like bombshell, like earth shattering stuff, does an incoming president who won a popular vote, an electoral vote landslide, and won some of these states by 20 or 30 points, can he earn the trust of senators that keep on going back to the well every 6 years from their Republican voters saying, keep on giving me political power? We at Turning Point Action think we're uniquely positioned to help make that case because we are not born out of the Republican Party. We're an outside group. We're obviously loyal to the president. And it's going to be a test of, can these senators who might get a little wobbly when it comes to people like Tulsi Gabbard or Bobby Kennedy or Pete Hegseth, can they say yes and confirm them? We think yes, and we're seeing good directional energy there. And Kash Patel, I would definitely add to that list. So we want to just try to make the Republican Party get into alignment with its voters. Very simple and easy ask. And then beyond that, we want to try to change the philosophy of the Republican Party, be a party to win and win long-term, invest in long-term infrastructure, invest on it on the ground, and then accelerate this kind of cultural transformation that we've seen. I think we're entering a golden era of this country. I think we're going to see amazing economic growth. I think we're going to finally have our allies back in many different ways. I think we're going to have a secure southern border. I think we're going to deregulate the economy. I think we're going to be able to have a mass deportation force. I think we're going to see all these promises made and promises kept. And my hope is that we can kind of make the Democrat Party a minoritarian party for a generation, the same way FDR made the Republican Party a minority party for like 15 to 20 years. And it's really on us. Like, it's for us to screw up, to be honest, and for us to mess up. And then from there, we have to do something dramatic with education. That's the core of everything we do at Turning Point USA.
And one of the things that's really fascinating about President Trump as a political figure is just how pragmatist he is. I mean, I've spent some time with him. You spent way more time with him. And the thing that when people ask me about President Trump, I always say is that his only metric is winning. Like when you're talking about meritocracy, when you're talking about the thing that he actually cares about, it's just winning.
Yes.
And so that means that if a policy is tried and it doesn't work, he is not going to do that policy anymore. And it also means that he actually is going to be able to judge by results. And so all these people who are out there suggesting he's going to be an extremist or that he's going to pursue crazy policies, he's going to tariff everybody 75%. It's like, that's not what he's going to do. He's going to do the things that win for the country, which is why we have such an opportunity going forward.
Yeah, and I will say this, that out of the gate, he's going to do what he campaigned on. I was talking to a reporter recently. He said, well, do you really think that President Trump's going to do mass deportations? Like, well, the American people knew he was going to do it. So yes, I mean, it's not that surprising. Like, yes, he's going to keep men out of female sports. Like, he's going to drill baby drill. He's going to have Israel's back. Like, he's going to keep Iran in check. Like, he's going to do his best to try to end the Russian-Ukrainian conflict. Like, these are things he campaigned on transparently. And it's unique because in politics, like, for example, when Kamala Harris said, oh, I'm for fracking, we all knew she was a liar. And look, there's a lot of complaints people throw at President Trump. The one that I want to make sure we're clear is that he tells like the blunt truth so directly that it like almost makes you disoriented, where he's like, I'm sick of losing. We're going to win again. We're not going to allow men in female locker rooms. And I'm going to defund every single school that does that. He means that when he says that. Like,
Right.
We're not going to put up with that anymore. And as far as like the extremists and the unshackled thing, I just kind of think it's laughable because everything he's talking about in the cabinet he's putting together is directly symmetrical and mirroring what he campaigned on. And it's not as if there's been like some surprise. Not he's like, oh, surprise, actually amnesty for everybody and,
Right,
green cards. Right. And so it was the most transparent campaign pledges and promises, 20 points. He said to the American people, this is what you want. This is what you're going to get. And you're right. He cares the most about the country succeeding and thriving. And the first term, he did a wonderful job. And I think, and I'll make a final point. I'd love your thoughts on this too, Ben. I actually think the 4 years of exile was good for us. I think us being out of power made us ask, who are we? What do we want to do? Who are the best people to do this job? And I think it was good for him. I think it was good for me. I think it was good for everybody around him, for us to really kind of say, no, we want this. And we're a better version of our former self. And that the second administration will be much better than the first.
I think that you're exactly right on that. I also think that President Trump being out of power, I think one of the things that it did is it meant that he is coming in with a vengeance. He's not a lame duck president. He is somebody who's going to come in with a real agenda, and it's going to be like he has a second first term. I mean, normally when we have a second term president, the second term, nothing happens, right? Second term of George W. Bush, for better or ill, nothing happened. And when it came, exactly. When it comes to President Trump, not only does he have an agenda, he's treating this running on the ground just like that. And I think that that's a wonderful and unique thing. I also think that because the Democrats have lost their minds and because they've swung so far to the left, what that means is that what we are actually seeing is something that I've described as the normie revolution. What we're seeing is it is now subversive to just be normal, right? I think one of the best examples of this was the bizarre attempt to paint J.D. Vance as a weirdo by Tim Walz, who is legit a weirdo. And J.D. is one of the most normal people in the history of American politics.
Correct.
Married, has kids, served in the military, comes from a not particularly wealthy background, made something like he is the American story embodied. And somehow he was a weirdo who was having relations with and meanwhile, these people who actually would have relations with couches and try to actually marry their couches are saying that there's something weird about us. And so what you're seeing is, I think, a surge of just, can we go back to normal? And Trump feels like normalcy now.
Yes, it does. And that's what's so unique is because we've been propagandized to believe that Trump is the abnormal and that, like, I don't know, like transgender strippers in front of the White House is normal. Like everything's fine, or like cocaine in the West Wing is fine. And actually it's good. And so, and that's what's so unique about the President Trump's agenda is so much what he's talking about is actually just a rebalancing to the center of gravity where we once were. It's like, okay, a border, like we're not going to send all this crazy money to people that hate us. Like we're going to have a social contract where our people come first. We're going to have a booming economy. I don't think that's radical. I don't think it's revolutionary. I think it's reasonable. And I will say this, that the one issue where the Democrats really went all in on, and they thought they could break the will of our movement, and Matt Walsh deserves such credit for this. I've said this publicly and privately. I sent out a tweet, and I meant it sincerely, is on the trans issue. And I think that Matt Walsh was like one of the like quiet reasons that we won this election, because him holding the line on the trans thing, he started this like sea of courage, with myself included, saying that this is insane, we're not going to put up with this. The most successful political advertisement that President Trump ran this campaign, the most successful, you know this, was the illegal immigrant transgender surgery funded by taxpayers. It was like so outrageous, right? Like Kamala bragging about how
people literally didn't believe she had done that because it was so crazy, and she had totally done it.
And what I love is the Trump campaign, brilliant from Susie Wiles. They ran it like during NFL football, right? It's like, we'll be right back, 2-minute warning. And it's like, wait, what is this? And then Charlemagne on his show, The Breakfast Club, comments on it. They run another ad of his reaction to it. The Trump campaign spent $75 million on that ad. They did not spend a lot on ads. That one ad they went all in on. Now, what was it about that ad that animated people? It was so outrageous that it fit this vibe. Like, oh, she is as radical as people say. And she's bragging about it. It's not like it was like some like secret recording. It's like she was out in the open being like, I am going to use your taxpayer dollars to chop off the parts of illegal aliens in prison. And it was like, and then the ad was like, Donald Trump is for you, Kamala Harris is for they, them. It kind of played into that kind of pronoun police stuff.
Amazing.
And President Trump was kind of a revolutionary back to normal.
I think that's totally right. And one of the things that you're seeing, even when he's talking about the candidates who are considered out of the box, say RFK Jr., one of the things that he said in a press conference this week, listen, I'm not getting rid of the polio vaccine. I think the dirty secret of this campaign is that Donald Trump ran as a moderate. Okay, they treat him as though he's an extremist. He's actually a moderate on virtually every issue that you can name.
Right.
From should we shut down the internet industry? The answer is no. To should we trans the children? The answer is no. To should we lower taxes? The answer is yes. Like these are all like 80-20 issues. And for some reason, Democrats have decided to take the 20%. It's insane.
I think that's such a smart point, because the only thing like immoderate about Donald Trump was just like how the media portrayed him and like the rallies, like whatever, fine. But like you think about, you actually, if you just like, hey, these are the 20 things that Donald Trump stands for. Okay. Like the only one that I think that might be quote unquote radical was like maybe what he wanted to do with immigration was a little bit like different than the status quo, but like not that much different than what Bill Clinton would have said in 1996.
Also, the answer is not anymore, because here's the thing: is a total reaction to what if we leave the border wide open for 3 years? I mean, I know that
with no checks.
Right. I mean, you live down here. I went down to the border and I actually looked at the border. It's legitimately wide open. There were no agents.
It's a crime scene.
I mean, there was a drone from the Mexican drug cartels flying on our side of the border, and the Border Patrol agents were telling me they could not shoot it down without explicit permission from Alejandro Mayorkas. Yeah, I mean, the reaction to that from the American people is going to be like, maybe we should glue this thing shut. I mean, that's not exactly a wild reaction.
Yeah, and then President Trump always said he ran on common sense, and this is what's so important is that as we lose our sensibilities of our Western culture, which is Judeo-Christian in nature, we don't actually have a bearing on what common sense actually is.
Real quick, I'm gonna take a quick station break. I don't want to. I found the commercial and they are hilarious, and that was a well-placed commercial. But I got this feeling if I drop it in the chat, if I play it, that YouTube will just do what YouTube does. So I put it in the chat right here. I dropped it right here for you. You definitely can check them out. They are pretty good. I mean, I can't be mad at them. That was a brutal commercial. That was right on the nose, lights out commercial. So shout out for sure. Thank y'all so much for everybody who's hopped in and jumped into the best live chat on the internet. I appreciate you. Let's keep this going. Let's roll.
Is that who is to say that men in female locker rooms is wrong if you don't have a shared Western morality that is derived from the Bible? Like, who's to say it's wrong that you shouldn't chop off kids, body parts? And so what Donald Trump was is he was this unapologetic force to bring us back to foundational Western morality, which I don't think anyone really appreciated.
That's
right?
exactly right.
Which is like, okay, we're gonna have sovereignty, we're gonna have borders. And when you look at a 35,000 foot view, you're like, this is actually the most sensible political agenda like ever. And they're the radicals. Like, they're the ones that are calling about like banning fossil fuels and like getting rid of, like, we're going to clamp down on like corporate price gouging, like insane stuff, right? Whereas President Trump is running on stuff that is 90-10 issues and did so in a cultural transformational way. And then secondly, and we could talk about this forever, he was also the most masculine political figure in a hyper toxically feminine culture, right? So he was just like the absolute opposite. We were living under like, you can't say that, feelings first, reason is dead. And he was just like, nope, we're going to be unapologetic. And
if you had a line chart and 0 was sort of gender neutrality. And so on the far left, you had Tim Walz and Doug Emhoff.
Bingo.
On the far right, you have Donald Trump.
That's right.
That's exactly right.
And so it's just like, it's hard for people to articulate that, but that is kind of just something that people sense. And from Donald Trump's like red tie to his alpha posture, just like, that's a guy that I want representing me, not, whatever Walz is.
Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of these gender issues,
yes.
You guys at TPUSA, you're working with us, we're working with you.
We're really
Daily
excited
Wire Plus,
about this.
to release this brand new documentary, Identity Crisis, which is all about the detransitioner movement. Yes. We're really excited about this. It's going to be released on January 10th for free on X for a couple of days, and it goes to Daily Wire Plus exclusively, which we're also very excited about. Tell me about the documentary.
Yeah, we've been working on this for a while, and we're so honored to be partnering with you guys on this. It's perfect partnership. Look, Matt Walsh did What is a Woman? And in some ways, this is not like a sequel, but this is a good accompaniment to that general idea, because this goes deep into the severity and the graphic brutality and the medieval nature of what transitioning actually is. And which is, and in some ways, it is the result of, if you can't answer what a woman is, you're going to start chopping off 12-year-olds' breasts. Then we get into the movie in great detail on the parents that lose their kids through divorce settlements and medical kidnapping. This is not just a one-off thing. This is happening with great detail across the country. And Matt Walsh will say it best, that the T in LGBT really is tyrannical. It is full totalitarian control of your speech, of your children, of your body. And that's what's so interesting, is that it cloaks itself on its surface, the trans agenda, as live and let live. Just let me wear a dress and you be you. And honestly, my temperament, I'm fine with, like, okay, I guess, like, I don't think it's right. I think it's weird. But like, okay, if you want to wear a dress in your living room, I'm not going to have a public policy measure against that. But it's never been about that. That's always been okay. Instead, it's like, no, allow me to propagandize your 13-year-old child and then put them under general anesthesia and chop off their breasts because it's good for them. So we are going right at the heart of what I hope is going to lead to a consensus that we can ban this in every state in the country. My like little pet, one of my pet projects, I got 4 or 5 of them, is for this incoming Trump administration to sign executive orders and launch a DOJ legal blitzkrieg into every gender affirming care center in the country, from Lurie Children's in Chicago to Mayo to the Nashville one. That we need criminal investigations, civil investigations. Dr. Ethan Heim at Houston's Children is under federal indictment for this. I know that you covered it on your show. This is the one of the moral crimes of the century. We're exposing it in this movie, Identity Crisis. People should check it out. And hopefully we want this to eventually get to the audience, White House staff, and government officials to build a consensus 10 days before Inauguration Day that this can be a public policy agenda so that we can end this in this country once and for all.
But folks, stay tuned for that on X. That's going to be available exclusively on X on January 10th, and then a few days later over at Daily Wire Plus. Charlie, I really want to thank you. Say congratulations. Very few people outside the president and the vice president-elect, outside of that, very few people in this country have had more to do with the success of Donald Trump's re-elect effort And I think this may have turned around the entire country. So you deserve
Well,
enormous
thank you.
thanks, enormous kudos. Well done.
Well, thank you. I'll throw it back to the Daily Wire. I love the Daily Wire. You guys are doing great work. And you guys really had the president's back when it mattered most during the summer and fall. I remember you texted me, you said, I will climb through broken glass to do whatever it takes to get Trump elected. And it really helped a lot, mattered a lot. And this is a victory for the American people. And glory be to God. We have 4 great years and maybe beyond that with J.D. Vance and more. But it is a reprieve from the terror that we're living under right now. So
Charlie
praise God.
Kirk, again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Look forward to the rest of this amazing event.
Thanks, man.
All right.
Gender affirming care is health care, and it
Oh, wait,
can
wait, hold on
actually
a
be
second.
suicide prevention care.
They're talking about hormonal therapy or sex reassignment surgery on children.
I thought fixing me externally would fix me internally. Of course, I was wrong.
Puberty blockers, surgeries, big money makers, hospitals, physicians.
It's evil to tell children happiness lies on the other side of double mastectomy.
So that's a 5-alarm fire.
It's criminal.
Wow. I had never seen that. Okay, so shout out for sure to Charlie and Ben. So I'm going to ask you the question again. I asked it at the beginning. I kind of stopped in the earlier portion of the video. Did that seem like a relationship, a conversation between 2 people that hated one another, or one person, particularly Charlie, that hated Ben Shapiro? I think somebody said before, Ben Shapiro seemed so big brotherly proud of Charlie. Like, again, like there was a lot of pride there from Ben. And I think there was a lot of reciprocated appreciation and thankfulness from Charlie. I didn't see somebody that hated him. So I dropped that link to that video. I want you to be able to capture that. And when people tell you that, Ben Shapiro is, dirty dealing and Charlie Kirk hated him, drop this video on him. This is one of the last videos that Charlie Kirk did, or interviews that Charlie Kirk did. Show me where the hate is. Can you show me on this video where the hate is? Where's the hate? I just need to see it so I can understand what hate looks like. Because I think most of us would say, hey, if that's hate, I need some more hateful friends. If Charlie hated Ben, I need some more friends like that. Right? Well, that's what I think it's fair to say. Thank you so much for that, dropping that in there. Thank you so much to the moderators. I always appreciate it. And yeah, I think, but there was some good strategy there. That might be something even to go back and watch again and to give some more 2 cent, get some glean from it. Yeah, there was no hate. I didn't see any hate up in there. I don't like, okay, show me the hate. Show me the hate. I think that'd be good. I appreciate y'all jumping in for sure. So what we've been doing, and most of you all know, we've been taking the time and kind of going through some of Charlie Kirk's debates, because a lot of people what Charlie Kirk actually said. They didn't actually watch his content. They took snippets, and of course, we watched the video about what he said about Ketanji Brown and Joy Reid, and they just apply it. They just impose an idea upon it. They treat it like it's a piece of clay, and they're going to shape it and mold it into whatever it is. Charlie Kirk is a piece of clay to them, and they're going to shape Charlie Kirk into the person that they hate, and that's basically it. So. Yeah, this was on the Daily Wire back in December of 2024. So we're looking at literally 6 months before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. I just thought it was super interesting, and I thought you all would get some good value from it. So I do appreciate you all tapping in with me and such of that nature. So one of the things I've been doing with these is I want to, rather than swim in the sewage, which is Candace Owens' content, I want to show us, like let's dissect some of the stuff that Charlie said. Some of these, these horrible, he's on college campuses abusing students. Let's actually see what was going on. Let's talk about it. So I got 3 more of these, not 3 more, I'm sorry. Charlie Kirk answers 3 questions, I believe it is. And they're about culture and such of that nature. And I thought it was good because he uses the Bible. And I thought that was an excellent way for us to kind of bring all of this around full table. Now, I do have a commenter in one of my videos that is saying some pretty egregious things about your guy. And so I did let him know, hey, man, I'm on live right now. I would love for this person to come on. I don't know if he's going to come because they make a deflection. you know, oh, you don't want to answer questions. I'm not going to come because you don't want to answer questions. Like I told you, come on over here. We'll answer questions. You got a problem with it? We'll do that. So I'm hoping that this person will, because he had some pretty interesting commentary. And I don't think he's going to, though, because, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, I just wanted to let y'all know that. So I am kind of stalling a little bit to see if he'll come through, because I would love for him to tap in and give me his 2 cents. I'd love to hear what it is that he actually thinks about and how does he actually come to these conclusions. Because at the end of the day, that's ultimately what it is. I want you to think about what you're saying and let's parse it out. And how do you get there? How do you land where you're landing? And such like that. Let me just real quick make sure. I'm gonna pin him to the top, and I'll leave the link if y'all want to go check it out, so y'all can see what he's saying. I'm gonna leave all his comments there so y'all can see him, and then I'll drop the link to the video for y'all. Okay. All right. Here's the video right there. Bada boom. All right. Got it there. Okay. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and bring Mr. Charlie Kirk up here. We're talking to some college students. I don't remember where he is, but we'll figure it out. I'm sure we'll figure it out. Grace and peace, everybody. Thank you to everybody who's hopped in. Let's go. Let's go. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
So my stance today is on immigration. I think that immigration contributes a lot to America. So my parents did come here legally, and they right now are in the process again. And it takes a long time. No, they came here legally, like they came with their visa, and now they're renewing it, and it's a different process right now. But so I'm really religious. I'm Catholic. My parents grew me.
Okay, I'm gonna just stop for a hot second. And this is what with the debate about illegal immigration. Whenever you're having this conversation, figure out what they're talking about. They're not talking about someone who came on a, I'm sorry, we are not saying that somebody who comes on a visa or a work visa or student visa should not be allowed to come into the country. Nobody, I'm going to speak on behalf of the best live chat on the internet. No, nobody's saying that. What we're saying, however, is somebody sneaking into the country should not be able to supersede somebody that's following the rules. We had Tanash Peter on the channel, about 3 weeks ago, and he explained that his family is from Zimbabwe, and it took them 10 years to become citizens. So his family, following the rules, doing everything that they're supposed to be doing, took them 120 months to become citizens. So should somebody just sneak across the border and get all the rights and privileges and be fast-tracked because they broke the law to get in? Or should Tanash's family be allowed to follow the process? And maybe 10 years is kind of egregious. I think most of us agreed when he said that we should need something to get that moving faster for people who are legitimately following the rules. 10 years is too much. 5 is probably the high. Like split that joint in half. But I think most of us agree to that. But everybody agrees that if you come here illegally, you don't get to jump the line. Like, what are we doing? So let's see what she says. But somehow or another, her religion got into the chat. Let's go.
Right now, but so I'm really religious. I'm Catholic. My parents grew me up that way. And in Matthew 2:13-15, it talks about how Jesus had to flee Bethlehem, sorry. He had to flee because someone was going to die. And they were looking to kill him. And he had to flee his own country and leave everything behind because an angel spoke to Mary and Joseph that they should leave. So a lot of people do that. That's why they immigrate to the United States. A lot of people have to leave everything behind because not everyone just wants to pack up all their things and leave. Right now, I personally would hate if I had to sell my car, my house, leave my parents, leave my friends, and leave everyone. So I just want to know what your stance is on that, just because in the Bible, it talks about that.
Okay, so I'm going to just stop before. I don't even know what Charlie's, I really don't know what Charlie's going to say. That is an egregious misappropriation of that scripture. You don't get to just use the story and therefore, because remember, Jesus was not in a foreign country. He was in the realm of Rome. Everybody likes to say that Jesus's family was refugees and they were fleeing. No, they went from Atlanta to Ohio. They're still in the United States. You go from Michigan over to Missouri and then down to Texas. You haven't left the United States. So you're not a refugee. You didn't leave your country. You literally went with your family to the place that you're supposed to go. So they didn't flee and leave from anywhere else. Now, when they went to Egypt, that is in fact the case. When they left from Rome proper. I'm sorry, Israel proper, but Egypt was under Roman influence as well. So again, still the same thing, still under Roman rule. So you didn't leave another country. You left your country, sure, but you're still under Roman rule. So you're not a different citizen. Just something to think about. All right, let's see what Charlie says. Grace and peace.
Right. So first of all, Jesus actually didn't emigrate. He stayed within the confines of the Roman Empire.
Well, there we go.
Egypt
See?
is actually under Roman jurisdiction. That's a separate point. But there are plenty of verses that says you should welcome the stranger, and so I will grant you that. I guess the first point I would have to ask is, should immigration always benefit the home country?
I think so, yes. And that is one thing that I looked into. So there are immigrants right now working here, correct? And they get some of their paycheck cut off, right, because of Social Security and all those benefits. But they don't get those benefits because they're illegal.
So do you
immigrants.
mean legal or illegal immigrants? That distinction is very important.
Illegal? They don't get those benefits.
Right. So
And
let's just be clear. If they have a Social Security number, how'd they get that?
the right way.
They stole it. You don't get
What's the right way?
You don't get a Social Security number as an illegal, period. It does not happen. They stole it.
Okay.
So that's an act of theft.
And
So they stole an American Social Security number to be able to work here, which drives down wages, which drives down opportunity costs. But even beyond that, we just have to look at their action. They were not invited to come to this country. They broke in line, they cut in line, and we should not reward line cutters or border jumpers. We should reward people like your parents that actually came here legally to this country.
I mean, he ain't lying.
Yeah, I understand that point. I really do. But sometimes people generally need to leave their country because in like my mother's case, for instance,
They have to generally leave their country, but that doesn't mean that they get to jump the line. Okay, and I'm not. What are we supposed to do? Because they get to break into the country and jump the line ahead of somebody else who's following the rules. Maybe that's why maybe that's why it's 10 years. Maybe because there's so many people breaking the line, it pushes back people who are actively doing the right thing. Maybe that's why it's been 10 years. It's been so long. The immigration process and the proper immigration process and vetting process is so long because people keep jumping the line and then they got to reset. Maybe that's what happens.
was like a terrorist attack on my family. And that's the reason my mom had to come. And thankfully, she did get it immediately. But now I've heard of so many stories where people have to wait like 10 years, 20 years, even 30 years. Like my grandma right now is trying to get the process. And thankfully, she is now. But it's taken her about 10 years now. And she makes enough money in her country. And she just wants to come here as a tourist. That's the main reason. I do understand that. I think that my main point is that how we should implement more money into the immigration system. Because Trump's zero tolerance policy, that just felt cruel. Because there's a lot of people here that are doing well and zero tolerance. They just have to leave the country. I feel like that was inhumane of him.
Yeah, but it's not their country though. And that's so let me just, if I went to Mexico without being invited or allowed, and I took a job and the Mexican government found out, what would the Mexican government do to me?
I'm not sure.
They would send me back to America.
Send you back, right.
And why was the reason you left the US first?
So reason, that's an interesting thing. Is there ever a legitimate reason, in your opinion, to commit a crime?
No.
Well, then the reason doesn't matter. Because under that state, so let's think, can you rob a bank because you wish you had more money?
No, you work harder.
Then why doesn't that moral standard apply to immigration?
Because the system isn't doing its job. That's why I think we should implement more money. Because there is some people, like I do get it. You know, some people come here and then I do admit some of them commit crime, but not all of them.
No, but they're all criminals if they came illegally. That's the distinction. By definition, they're breaking federal.
Yeah, I've never heard it take 30 years. I have heard it takes a long time. When Tanash told us that it took his family 10 years, that was a little bit like, wow. But I heard it was a long time. I just didn't know how long of a time. And having an actual person who's gone through the process shared a lot. Again, I'm fine with us fixing the immigration process, the legal immigration process, so that it's not 10 years. As long as we block the border so people stop jumping in line, so they have time to focus on getting that done. Why is that a hard thing to understand? I don't get that part. And the woman said, the young lady said here, her grandmother's it's a long process to come to the United States as a tourist. I don't think that's true at all. You can't come to the country and tour and be a tourist. Like, really? It takes people multiple years in order to come over here to go to Disneyland, go to the Grand Canyon. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all.
law 8 USC 1312. Just their presence here is against the law. Would you be okay welcoming in 500 million people into America?
That's why we should implement the system to understand each
No, you
person's
got to answer.
case.
Do you think 500 million people would be too many people?
500 million, I don't even think that would fit the United States.
I agree. And that's the point, is that if everyone all of a sudden declared that their life was in danger, we'd have to let in like all of Nicaragua, all of Honduras, almost all of Venezuela. The standard all of a sudden starts falling apart. And we find that people lie about this, they deceive it. Here's my perspective. Why don't we try to empower those people to make the countries they're coming from greater and stronger, or else this problem will actually never be fixed at the root level? Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And I wish it was that easy. So for instance, I am part Peruvian, and in Peru, so they were having a presidential election. Mm-hmm. And the president who was going to win was better for the country and would help out a lot more. Mm-hmm. But since it's corrupt, they made the other president win. They sent him death threats, nearly almost killed him. He had to fake his death and leave, and they jailed her. They jailed her completely, and they let the guy win. That is why it's corrupt. It's hard to fix a country when there's no help towards it. So Peru they were rooting for the good president. They were rooting to build their system back up. But the other president, it was rigged. It was completely rigged.
So does it make it better or worse if millions of people leave that country? For Peru.
Can you, like, what do you mean by
if
leave? Like,
3 million people left
question.
Peru, does Peru get greater or weaker? Stronger or weaker?
Okay, I think Charlie should be a little bit more clear. I like this question, though. I think he says, hey, if the people that voted for the good president, that voted for the I don't remember who it was, but let's just say it was President John. If they voted for President John, but they ended up getting President Tommy, and if the people who voted for President John that wanted a stronger, healthier, more robust Peru, if they just got up and left, would the country be better off that these people who voted for President John left the country? I think that's what he's trying to say. I think it would have been better if he just kind of gave her a word picture.
I mean, it's in a weak state right now.
Right. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I'm trying to even say that mass immigration is bad for everybody. It's bad for America, and it's bad for the country that people are leaving from. The only difference is that they send back American money through remittances that actually subsidize this entire thing. Let me ask one final question. If somebody comes into America without invitation and they are illegal, what do you think the penalty should be?
I think it's humane to look at their case and why they had to leave everything they've ever known.
We believe that we should send them back to their country of origin.
I just want to make one more final point. So I do understand that, but my final point is that, do you agree that we should implement more money to the immigration system?
No, I think we should have no immigrants in the country for the next 10 years. We have way too many people in this country, and I'll prove it to you here in California. Okay. Your hospitals are overrun. Your schools are overrun. Do you guys agree that you have a crowded state right now? California is a cluttered state with social services that are being strained, and we need a pause on all immigration, in my opinion, to metaphorically digest the major meal that we just ate, or else we are going to have a major assimilation problem, cultural problem, cohesion problem, all sorts of issues. And I know this is a provocative thing to say, but immigration is something that you use as a way to benefit the homeland. You don't have to have immigration.
But just as an example, my parents came here, like I said, legally $0, and they have benefited so much to the country. They have made so much, like hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Praise God, that's the American dream.
It is, and it's just like a hard thing to do.
And I want American-born young people from UC Riverside to also have that American dream and not have to compete against foreigners for that. Thank you for your time.
Can I say one point?
We have a long line. Thank you.
Really quick though.
Okay, again, what is it?
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. I understand the American dream is hard. My mom was pregnant, working 2 jobs one day, and she sacrificed everything, and now she has more money than the average American.
Praise God. That is the American dream. Thank you very much.
It's hard work.
Thank you.
I want to talk about the debate of abortion. So I know that it's something very controversial. Some people are pro-choice, some people are pro-life.
All right. I'm on big screen this so y'all can see the young lady that's arguing this, which I think is extremely interesting. Let her. This is bless her heart, bless her little heart.
Before I start, I want to make sure that I understand your opinion fully so I don't take, what I've heard online. What is your stance on abortion?
Life begins at conception.
Okay. So conception, so is that when sperm enters the egg?
Yes.
Is that during
When new DNA is formed.
Okay, when new DNA is formed.
I like that.
So the egg by itself you don't think is anything?
Sorry?
The egg of a woman by itself, do you think it's anything?
It's something, but it's not a life. Correct.
Okay, that's okay. So my question is, when you talk about abortion and why you support it, why you don't support it, sorry. Why you don't support it, what do you use as your evidence? Do you use scientific evidence? Do you talk about the Bible? Do you use both?
Mainly scientific and self-evident reason.
Okay. So are you someone who's a follower of the Bible?
I am, but that's not relevant to this discussion, but we could.
Okay, I can tell already. I don't even know yet. I can tell already what she's going to do. In her hand, I'm going to back up so you can watch it. In her hand, she has a piece of paper. And if you can zoom in, she is extremely nervous. That paper is like shaking in her hand like a leaf. She clearly has written down, she did a Google search, she did a chat GPT on verses about deletion of little people. And that's what she's going to spring out there. She's going to pull it out. I'm going to back up so you can watch it in her hand. It is shaking like a leaf. That's what she wants to do. Man, bless her heart. This is such a poor argument. This is what we've done to this society. Like, you're sitting here arguing about this. Ma'am, I don't think that's one of the biggest things that you need to be worried about. I could be wrong, man. Y'all let me know in the chat if you think I'm wrong. I don't think the deletion of a baby and the process that creates a deletion of a baby, I don't think that's the biggest thing that she needs to worry about. What you think?
Support it. What do you use as your evidence? Do you use scientific evidence? Do you talk about the Bible? Do you use both?
Mainly scientific
and self-evident reason.
Okay. So are you someone who's a follower of the Bible?
I am, but that's not relevant to this discussion, but we could talk about it if you like.
I find it relevant because when I'm going to talk about abortion, there's quotes in the Bible that I think support pro-choice, in my opinion.
I told you.
Exodus
Come on, y'all.
21, 22 through 25.
All right, hold on. I gotta let this one go. I'm surprised though. I'm surprised that this was such a softball pitch for me, man. I done put this thing over the back fence. I didn't even get warmed up good. Good gracious. Let's go. All right. Hey, one of the things I also want to point out, notice Charlie Kirk, man, he puts that microphone down. He asks the question, he puts that microphone down. You even hear it hit the table. So you know that he's not jumping and chomping at the bit to interject with these people. A lot of the time, he's just literally allowing them to talk. Now, eventually he does kind of, put the kibosh on it. But a lot of this is really allowing these people to tease it out. So anyway, let's go. I just thought that was interesting. Let's go.
When men strive together and hit a pregnant woman so that her child come out, so miscarriage, but there is no harm to the woman, the one who hit her shall surely be fined, as the woman's husband shall impose on him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. But if there is harm to the woman, you shall pay life for life, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. So I know that could be interpreted different ways. The Bible is interpreted in ways there's different types, different interpretations. But this says if a person causes a miscarriage through a woman, that they will pay for the abortion. So they will pay, another one will punish them.
That is not what this law says. But let me just ask, are you a Christian?
Yes.
Okay, then continue. So
I'm going to ask some more questions about that.
You believe in the inerrant word of God?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes. So it says that as the woman's husband shall impose on him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. So the judges determine, and it's talking about the husband, so therefore it's talking about a person, not God himself, not his judgment. So it's saying if someone has an abortion, we have the right to choose what to do to them, right?
Didn't you say it was a miscarriage, not an abortion?
It says when men strive together and hit a pregnant woman, so that's causing her to lose the baby.
Right, that's a miscarriage.
Outside cause, therefore it could mean abortion, because some people find that aggressive abortion is through violence. Some such as hitting, because not everyone has access to medical.
Was it abortion.
What? Hold on. I admit I had not seen this. Wow, I've never heard that before. That one is a new one. I'm gonna put that one on the I've never heard that scale. That's up there that's high on the I've never heard that before. Hold on, let me back to that. bless Charlie Kirk's face. Shout out to Charlie Kirk. Look at his face. He's like, what are you talking about, Brenda? Brenda, like, are you really worried about this? Shout out from Spain. Going on? What's happening out there? Good to see you. Right, that's a miscarriage. That is not an abortion. This is crazy work, man. This is some grade A crazy work. Shout out to Charlie Kirk for sure.
Through violence, such as hitting, because not
let me
everyone
back up,
can
sorry.
hit a pregnant woman, so that's causing her to lose the baby. That's an outside cause. Outside cause. Therefore, it could mean abortion, because some people find that aggressive abortion is through violence, such as hitting, because not everyone has access to medical
Was it the
abortion.
intent for them to kill the baby?
It's unclarified, so that I cannot tell you. It's unclarified. However, what I will say is that it says that it's the judges determine, the husband determines. So God's not making the choice for us what to do with a person who does that to someone's child, does that to their own child. But it does say that if the woman is harmed, herself, not the child, then they are liable by God, their life for her life, their foot for her foot. So what I'm saying is, if somebody needs an abortion for healthcare, let's say a woman's baby's not going to make it, and if the baby stays in her womb, she will die. And they refuse her an abortion, they refuse her that healthcare, and she dies. Should the doctor be liable under God?
What?
First of all, those instances don't happen. So let's just be
right. That doesn't happen. What he's saying, or what she's saying. I apologize. This is a very weird. This is a very interesting take. Shout out to her.
clear. No, see, you guys are so propagandized by this. That only happens in a very rare case of the breaking of the uterine
So
wall.
it does happen.
But where the baby is already dead, and that's what the point is, that the baby is already dead. That's a removal of a carcass of a baby.
That's also still medically
No,
an
it's
abortion.
not. That's incorrect.
It
No,
not.
it's not. No, it's not. A removal of a carcass of a baby is not an abortion. Those are two
It
technically
is.
different things. It is not a D&E. It is not. A D&E is something completely different. But then if you want to talk about scripture, do you think we are bound to all 613 Levitical laws?
Yes, if you're a follower of the Bible, you cannot pick and choose what you follow.
Oh, so you eat kosher?
You cannot pick
Do you
and
eat kosher?
choose. No,
Well, I thought you were bound to all 613 laws.
I'm not perfect. I'm a sinner. Everyone here is a sinner. But if
Well,
you
are we
choose,
bound to it? Do you think Christians should
if
eat kosher?
you choose to follow the Bible, you cannot pick and choose what you
Of
follow.
course, but we do believe in a new covenant and old covenant. So there's three types of Old Testament laws, right? There's ceremonial, there's civil, and moral. So ceremonial laws we do not honor. Civil we consider. Moral
But
we
why?
absolutely do.
Why
Because-
do humans
okay.
decide what to follow when
Well,
God's
because
the one
Christ
and it's
actually-
God's word?
It's not us. It's not humans. So Paul actually authored in the book of Colossians.
That's
that
a human.
Right, inspired by the Holy Spirit, which wrote the Bible. The ordinances of Moses are nailed to the cross. Secondly, Christ our Lord repeated 9 out of 10 of the 10 Commandments.
Yep.
And he said, all the laws of the prophet hang upon the two teachings of Leviticus 19 and Deuteronomy 6. But now I equally have to challenge you with scripture. In Luke 1, when Elizabeth came in contact with Mary and both were babies, what did it say that John the Baptist
Both
did?
had babies.
I cannot tell you that.
He leapt.
Okay.
Do non-babies leap?
I don't understand the question. I'm gonna be
Well,
honest.
isn't it a baby then worthy of protection if they're leaping?
I suppose. But
Yes. And it was the Greek word brephos, which literally means baby,
My-
intentionally used throughout. Hold on. In Jeremiah, it says, I knew you before you were in the womb. In Psalm, I think 139, it's
Yep.
one of the most intricate verses about the detail of our formation process as human beings. And finally, because of science, because of biology, we know that human life begins at that spark of new DNA. And God says, do not murder. And it's incumbent on Christians to therefore protect that life.
Okay. So my biggest question is, I'm not saying that all abortion is valid. I feel like that's up for everyone to decide. But in the most, even if it's very small percentage, in the very small percentage that a baby is alive, but it has to be aborted for the sake of the mother, what do you think
C-section.
is the right
C-section.
thing?
What is a C-section?
A C-section is when you cut a mother's
Why
stomach
don't they
open.
do that instead of the abortion?
because it could be equally as dangerous.
Wrong. It's much safer than an abortion and quicker.
Do you have evidence?
I mean, yes, it's self-evident.
Can you tell me?
I mean, again, there's plenty of people.
Find the evidence.
He has plenty of people that are in medicine can tell you, but like, to be very clear, think about it. Every hospital is equipped to do C-sections. You have to go to a specific place for an abortion, and a C-section. 1/3 out of everyone in this audience was born by C-section. C-sections save lives; they do not terminate lives. And so when they say we must abort the baby, thanks to modern technology, that's actually a false choice. You could take the baby out of the environment and try to save its life as a cesarean section.
What if when the C-section happens, the baby's not able to survive on its own no matter what?
Okay, well, then that's a separate circumstance. It's like saying if the baby has a heart attack after the C-section, that's not a reason not to terminate it.
What do you mean?
If you have to give everybody a chance at life. You don't kill the baby in the womb just because you think that it's going to, well, it could hurt the mother. You take it out of that environment.
Okay, but what I'm saying is if they take the baby out and they know it's not going to survive regardless.
One of the things, and I appreciate Charlie Kirk's extreme patience with this young girl. I don't have that same level. This woman, baby, the last thing you need to worry about is getting pregnant. Okay, that's the very last thing you need to worry about. But why does she keep giving up all of these false and phony? Let's just pretend that every case where the life of the mother is in jeopardy is valid. I agree with Charlie. A C-section will fix that problem. That's not what most abortions are, though. It's a very small, minute fraction, maybe even a fraction of abortions are the life of the mother. Most of them are convenience and because of sin. That's what the overwhelming majority of them is because of that. It's not any of these things that you're talking about. It's because of sin. So all of this that you're talking about, man, please go have 4 seats. Have all the seats. Like, the last thing you need to be worrying about, that's just some crazy work, man. Like, for real? Like, ma'am, it's funny that she was talking about obeying the Mosaic law. You do know it says do not cut your body for the dead. So that's where a lot of people have the argument about tattoos. Ma'am, you got facial piercings. Ma'am, I think you need to worry about yourself. Instead of getting over here arguing for somebody else, ma'am, Becky the Bop over in your dorm, she's not over here arguing. You over here arguing for something dumb and you look bad. Big back behavior up in here. Okay, let's finish up.
How do they know that post 22 weeks? You don't know that. There's miracles that happen every day in the neonatal, in the neonatal intensive care unit. There's miracles that happen every day in NICUs.
And I agree. There's definitely, they don't know 100% for sure, but there's definitely probability through science, through biology, that they know, hey, this is more likely going to happen.
We don't do morals on probability.
I'm not saying it's morality. I'm saying probability of a baby is going to survive or not.
Doesn't matter. You don't terminate a life based on a probability of survival. Oh, you do? Interesting. You guys murder people based on probability of survival? Interesting. So somebody on a ventilator should just be murdered? I mean, it's such incredible morality.
Would you keep someone on a ventilator for the entirety of everything else then?
It depends. There's 2 different things. There's no more and not yet. Once you reach the level of no more human interventions can improve this person's life or bring them back to a full life, that is a separate moral decision than not yet. When a human being is at not yet, which they are in the womb, you must do everything you can to make sure they get life. When a human being is at no more, it's a completely separate moral dimension and decision to make. No more and not yet are the ways to look at pro-life decisions. That make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. Well, thank you for debating with me.
Thank you very much.
Don't agree to disagree.
All right, shout out. Hey, real quick. America is dying slowly. I dropped the link to the chat. You're saying some things in here. I don't know what you're talking about. I dropped that link right there. Go ahead and hit that link. Go ahead. And you're welcome to come on. You can ask me the questions. Don't debate with anybody about what Jason would say. You call Jason a Zionist? What are you talking about? Wait, hold on now. What you saying about me? You over talking. Come on. Please. Please don't argue about me in the chat. Argue with me right here in my face. Please. And don't tell me that you're not ready because you're ready to talk smack about me. Come on over here and talk smack to my face. It'll set me straight. Get me right. Because you talking about, I already invited you to the chat. Yeah, absolutely. Don't talk about censorship. Don't talk about censorship. Don't even talk about it. Ain't nobody censoring you. I'm putting you to the front of the line. You get the fast track to immigration up in here. See, we equal opportunity over here. We letting you get fast tracked up here to go ahead and give me this work. Tell me what I've done did. No. I want you to tell me to my face. I ain't got no time to look through there. I ain't got no time. I want to hear from you. I want to hear what I'm saying. Set me straight. Now, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I've already told the moderators, when I make the opportunity available and I stop the show to give you an opportunity to come up and express yourself, you have to take that opportunity, because otherwise you're going to disappear. And I don't care. You can email management, jwitt@jwitt.com, and we can have a conversation. But if you're in the chat causing chaos, I don't like chaos. I don't like that. I'm a peaceful guy over here. So now you actually do need to click the link. So click the link, or the moderators already know how to do this, what to deal with that. I'm just saying. I'm not threatening. Nobody's threatening you censorship. I'm telling you to come on and let's talk about it. Because you're saying stuff and I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not going to go back up and read 900,000 comments. I want you to tell me right now in my face, 4K, dare I say, what it is that we're talking about. That's it. That's the only way to make that right. I think that's the right way to do it. I'm just saying. All right. Shout out to Charlie, though. I thought that was a good debate. I don't think that young lady really had a grasp of what it was that she wanted to say. She just wants to say that abortion is acceptable. That's basically it. Summation. Abortion is acceptable. However, that being the case, one, it's not. You're not going to get Charlie to capitulate on that. I'm glad he never wiggled or moved on that at all. I always like word pictures. Maybe it's because I taught elementary school and I believe in helping people visualize and see what it is that I'm talking about. So I probably would have given some word pictures, if you will. However, okay. I would have given some word pictures to help her out, because I don't think that they can conceptualize. I do think that this generation of young adults really struggle with seeing things that are abstract. So like a moment ago, Charlie Kirk asked the young lady, would she be okay with 500 million people coming into the United States? Well, if you are, pretty much an abstract thinker, you know that there's 300 million in the state now. So that would double and almost double again the amount of people in the United States. That's crazy. That's a lot of people. So I think most of us can say, wait, hold on. That's a lot of folk. Like, no, that's not going to work. So I believe that just giving some good, but 500 million, I don't think that girl fully understood what 500 million was. She just said, oh, they wouldn't all fit in the United States. But I don't think it's more than just they wouldn't all fit. That's crazy work. Like the amount, not just they wouldn't be able to stand or live in the United States, but just the resources alone wouldn't be able to, the resources that are necessary for that would be insane. So I do think sometimes breaking it down to something much smaller that these people can, conceptualize, like your dorm or your cafeteria or the stadium for your football teams, whatever like that, really will make it a little bit more visual. University of Georgia, I think their stadium is crazy. It sits 70,000 people, if I'm not mistaken. I'm like, where do y'all get? That's some crazy work, man. 70,000 people? That's crazy. Well, what if 140 showed up though? It's very quick. You can say, okay, that's a lot of folks. If you ever go by Stanford Stadium, man, it's huge. It's a gigantic stadium. And for the idea that, okay, double this amount of people would show up for a game, that's crazy work. It's very easy to see that. So that's just my little 2 cents there. What do we have here? Did my person disappear? Oh, man. I hate when that happens. America, what's going on? Are you coming through? Yay or nay? I dropped that link for you. Always loved. Hey, don't let it be said. Don't ever let it be said that Jay Witt does not want to engage with people who disagree with him. I'm making a show for you. I'm bringing you up to the front of the line for me to hear what you got to say. Set me straight. Put me in my place. Let me know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I mean, and maybe they've never had the opportunity. They're telling me, oh, you need to go do this, that, and the other. Well, hey, I'm giving you the opportunity to set me straight right here. Set me right. pull my coattail. Tell me where I am wrong. Okay, I'm just looking real quick to see, because in a moment, oh, I agree with this right here. Sass, I agree right there 100%. Everybody get out and vote and spread the message. Everyone from school board to city council to sheriff. Look, some of y'all letting y'all school boards go out of control, and your local governments. We talking about, we can talk about the national government till the cows come home, but some of y'all letting y'all local governments get out of control. So I agree with that 100%. Sass, thank you so much for that. I think it's fair to say that America is dying slowly, does not want to come on. Shout out. Hey, by the way, is the mental chiropractor still in the building? Shout out to her. Excellent content creator. She has really been tough, working hard over there. And I want to see, are you still here? T, are you still in the building? Are you in the house? If she's here, just tap in real quick. Just want to do something very quickly. If she's here, let me know if I missed it, Tina. If the mental chiropractor, I know she popped in. I don't know if she stayed around or whatnot like that. I want to do something very quick with her. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, don't just be checking them boxes, though. Don't be just checking them boxes. Know who it is that's running for your offices. Please know who it is that's running. Know those people. Please know that stuff. Let me do this very quickly. This is it. It starts local. They got us looking and again, the presidential and national races are extremely tantalizing. They're very captivating. I get you. But don't let your mayor race, your city council races run amok. Don't just let that slide by. So yeah, okay. Oh man, okay. Let me real quick. I'm gonna do something. I haven't done this in a while. So let me just real quick. All right. And I'm gonna drop this in the chat. Okay, got it. Okay, real quick. I like to make a point to help and support content creators that I believe are trying to do the best thing possible to make good content, right? And not everybody has to rock exactly like me. And so, but I respect content creators who are trying to do something. So the mental chiropractor, very realign your mind. All right. Really good content creator. She's doing an excellent job. I'm going to ask y'all to do me a favor. Okay. And it's got to be serious. If I'm asking you to do this, do me a favor. I want you to go check out her channel and check out a couple of her videos that she's done. She's talked about Charlie. She talks about Erika. She talks about other things like that. She's reviewed tons of good content and such like that. There she is right there. There she is. She's in the building. All right. So I talked to her on the phone, or talked to her through email, and I realized that she has 451 subscribers. All right. All right. She needs to hit 500. Okay. She needs to hit 500. And she doesn't have 500. So I'm going to do something that I'm putting myself out there. I don't do this often. There's a lot of people that I've not done this for. I want y'all to go check out her channel. And if by tomorrow her channel has hit 500,000 subscribers, I am going to drop. I'm gonna probably go big. I'm gonna probably go ahead and put out. I'm gonna probably put out 50 new memberships on my channel. So if you're not a member or you want to be a member of the channel, whatever like that, go over there and check out what she's doing. I have to find some other ways to give out some benefits as well. But I really believe that you all will benefit from checking out her channel. And as I said before, I think it's extremely beneficial and important for us to support content creators that are doing good work, that are trying to do good work. If she's doing good work and you can amen that, then I need you to hit that subscribe button when you come over there and check out her channel. All right, so it'll look like that. You hit the subscribe, you can hit personalize, all that kind of jazz like that, bell notifications, whoop to do all that kind of good jazz. But please go and support good content creators. Because if we want to see good debate and good conversation and all that kind of stuff continue, we have to support content creators that are helping to do that. Right? So that's my point. I see you, love. There you go. But I just wanted so I really want y'all to do that. So I'm putting it out there. I don't do this. Wow. Dog. Okay. All right, let's make it 5 now. Let's stop playing. Go ahead and just make it 5 now. And I'm gonna go ahead and do 50 memberships. I'm just gonna drop 50 memberships for the channel. Y'all go ahead and do it. Make it so. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and bless her so she can hit the 500 threshold on YouTube. That how great would that be? Because again, I think we have the ability to change the lives of people who want to make good content. I'm just here. Like, let's do that. And then green hearted up in the chat and say you did it. There we go. Let's hit 500 now. I gotta wait till tomorrow. We just need 30 more while we playing games. Do it. That's crazy. Y'all are the best. When I say this is the best live chat on the internet, somebody's got to prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. All right. Mental chiropractor. How to put my money where my mouth is. Let me go over here and get ready. Good gracious, I'm gonna have to get ready to do these memberships now. Let me refresh it. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me get done. Let me go over here and do this. Let me get the memberships ready. I love it. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. When I say it's the best live chat on the internet, you got to fight me to prove me wrong. You got to fight me. All right, let's make this happen. Yay. All right. Shout out to the mental chiropractor. There's a lot of people there are a lot of people who are like, Jason, you ain't did that for me. I'm gonna get a text message. I know it. All right, I got it queued up. Oh, goodness gracious. I got it queued up right now. I'm ready. Y'all let me know when you hit when we hit 500, y'all. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. Thank you so much for supporting her and blessing her with that. I think she would be very happy for that. I think so. But y'all, thank you so much. This has been a fun time. I don't think Candace did a live stream today, which is probably good. It'd probably be good that she go and spend some time and do something else. But I don't think she did a live stream today. Maybe she did. Oh, she's pushing to 7:30. I knew it. All right, so she pushed the live stream to 7:30. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. We I'm not gonna be hanging around. I have a Bible study at 8 o'clock. Shout out to you for sure. Shout out. You want to jump on real quick, friend? Since here, I'll drop the link for you. T, I will drop the link for you if you want to hop on real quick and just say what's up. Oh man, they give me a countdown over here. I love y'all so much. Let me go ahead. It's gonna happen. So y'all said, look, we about to make it happen, Jason. I love it. There we go. I love to see that we can support 17 more. I love to see that we can support people that we believe in, or that we want to encourage that type of behavior. We want to encourage good debate. We want to encourage people who maybe you don't agree with everything. That's not. Please don't think that we have to agree on everything in order to support people who are in our space. Right? So let's go ahead and do that. Let's make it happen. Right. We're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen, y'all. Let me see how many. Y'all are not playing with me. Y'all said, look, Jason, we about to. Oh, you put the challenge out there? We about to make it happen. I love it. I absolutely love it. T, if you want to jump on the mental chiropractor, if you want to hop on, I did drop the link for you. And you want to hop on real quick, we can chat it up a little bit. Just click the link. You know how we like to do it. Just click the link. I'm about to drop a whole bunch of them in a second, Mountain Misses. So don't you worry. Don't worry. We're about to take care of you in a hot second. We're about to make it happen. Y'all are too funny, man. Y'all are too funny. Oh, you're more than welcome. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do Candace today. Candace, you can go kick rocks. I got other things going. I got other things happening. Like I said, I got Bible study at 8:00. I'm good. And I'm sure I have a feeling, and reading to the future, it's going to be a nothing burger. It's going to be about nothing. So I'm good with that. I would much rather us sit around here and chop up some Charlie Kirk and have some good discussion like that. All that kind of good stuff. I think is much better, more edifying, more building up. Now I got a job. Right. Absolutely. And we got other stuff going on. But I do want to say that again. Like, remember those midterm elections and local elections. Remember your local elections, man. Like I think we need to do a TEEP USA for local elections, only on the local level. So just your city, your councils, your commissioners, your dog washers, like that stuff is so important. I dare say it's almost, if not equally as important. I think it's fair to say like your local elections are as important as your national election. And that's what I'm thinking, man. No, actually, no. Moderators, can we please make sure America is Dying does not get a membership when I drop it? And you know what I mean by that. So you know what I mean. That would be the worst thing I'd ever seen in my life. Y'all have gotten this woman up to 485 subscribers. Y'all are the best, the absolute best, insanely the best. Thank y'all so much. All right. The link is right here. I'll drop it in the chat again. Bang. All right. Tressa, there is the chat. There is the link right there. What does SC Dog say? Just getting to where I could chat. UGA Stanford Stadium has 93,000 seats. My bad. Wow. I knew it was a lot. When my daughter was thinking about going to UGA, where's my UGA at? I think I gave it away. When my daughter was thinking about going to UGA, because she goes there for a summer program. She's gone there since she was like a sophomore. So I was really hoping she would go to UGA, go Dogs. But she chose, somewhere else. But I always thought Stanford Stadium, I mean, it looks like an NFL stadium. It's humongous. It's the craziest thing, man. It's crazy. But imagine that, like 93,000 people and your nearest and dearest at this game. Let's just add another 93 to that. That's crazy work. Look at this. Look at this in the building.
Can you see me?
I can absolutely see you. One second.
Okay.
I don't want to bring you too close. I told you I don't like doing that to you. What's going on, friend? How are you?
Oh my God. Jay Witt and Jay Witt's crew, y'all. I'm like, what is happening? Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome.
I'm overwhelmed.
You're more than welcome.
I mean, I've talked to a couple of content creators who are pretty up there like yourself, and they said that, they would do this, that, and the other, and nothing ever happened. So I just figured, okay, well, I guess that's what the YouTube world does. They talk with no follow-up and action. And you didn't even talk. You just did.
Why not? Well, I mean, I love that you have a great passion for this content. I love this space. I love seeing people thrive in this space. So I said it before, and I'm about to put my money where my mouth is in a few seconds, because I need 12 more people to go ahead. I need 12 more folk. Come on. Sound like a Pentecostal pastor. I need 12 more people. But I want to see people thrive. I want to see people do well in this, because it's turned my life. It's completely turned this retired elementary school teacher's life around. I never thought I would be able to sit around here and have conversations with my camera and have as much captive audience as I did when I was teaching 6 and 7-year-olds. That's crazy work. And so, no, I want to see people do well. So if I can help you, I'm going to do it.
Well, I'm telling you, you are definitely a role model. And first of all, you are hilarious. I didn't realize how hilarious you are. And your little quips that you have, I'm like, yeah, he got it down. He has his formula down. You are amazing. You're absolutely
Thank you,
amazing.
friend.
And yeah, so you are somebody that I definitely will not study, but observe and, take from here and there,
Well,
as
thank
I
you so
build my
much.
own channel. Yeah.
Well, you got about 8 more subscribers and you will hit the
Oh my
elusive
God, y'all,
500.
that's insane. That is insane. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Your crew, does your crew have a name, or are they just the best
The
chat
best live
on
chat on the internet. Absolutely.
the
The best
best live
live chat
chat
on
on
the
the
internet.
internet? Y'all are dope. I thank you so much. I thank you so much. And I would appreciate if you did check out some of my videos. Now, I ain't for everybody, and it's okay. But I'm definitely a free thinker. And that's what I promote and encourage for all of us to exit the system.
Well, I love it. Well, I'm glad that you were able to hop on. Real quick, where, if you don't mind me asking, where are you?
I'm in Jersey City.
Okay, I was like, I know you weren't here with me in Atlanta, and I was like, I don't know
No,
where she is. And you don't, are
but
you
when
born
I
and raised
get
in Jersey?
there, no, I mean, I didn't mean to say it like that. To all
I
the
knew
New
it. No, I
Jerseyans.
knew it. I knew it. No, my in-laws are in New Jersey. I was in New Jersey last
Oh,
weekend. I mean,
okay,
the weekend
yeah.
before last.
Shout out to
Right.
Jersey. Yeah. But when I'm in, my mama's in Atlanta, so when I
Okay.
come up there, I'm definitely going to let you know, hit you up. But yeah.
Well, absolutely.
But I
Well, I
was born
appreciate
in
it, friend.
Texas, so just so you know, I was born in Texas.
I knew you weren't Eastern Seaboard. I knew that. That's what I was like, where is she? I don't know where she's from.
I'm a
I
transplant.
love it. Hey, well, that's okay. Shout out to them. All right. Okay, I gotta go ahead and hit my button now. So they got you 4 away. We're 4 away. So I'm over here doing an
I'll
auction.
take it. I will take it all. Oh my gosh, Jay Wood, no words.
You are more than welcome. Keep doing great content, and we'll be here. You know where to find me.
Thank you. Yes, and I thank you for your support, and thank you for the best live chat on YouTube, right?
Yep, the best live chat on the internet, the whole internet. Nah, not just on
On the
YouTube.
whole
We
entire
better than
internet. Yeah, we're
the
not gonna limit
whole
it.
entire interweb. We got it
What
all in a
I look
chokehold.
like?
We own it.
Yeah.
We
And
own
what
it. We're
I
the
look like?
best live chat on the internet.
I am the cheerleader for infinite potential, and look what I just did. I just restricted y'all to YouTube. Like, what am I doing with my life on the internet? Absolutely,
The whole interweb.
internet. Yes, from corner to corner of the world. Absolutely.
We got it.
Thank
We got them
y'all
on
so
live.
much.
You're welcome. Be good, young lady. See you real soon.
Okay. All right. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye now. All right, that was a mental chiropractor, and I just put a bounty on her channel. I said, man, let's go ahead and help her hit the 500 subscribers so she can at least get to that level. And call your mom and tell her to subscribe. Absolutely. Tell your mom to subscribe. Help her out. Oh, go ahead and activate your burner accounts. Go ahead and activate your bill collector email. Go ahead and activate and go ahead and subscribe. I think we hit it already, right? Oh, I got 2 more. Come on. I do feel like a Pentecostal preacher. Hey, look, disciple of Christ, guilty as charged. Guilty as charged. Absolutely guilty of that as well. I'm not gonna beat them charges. I'm not. But I do want to say thank y'all to everybody who's tapped in. Thank you so much. It has been a great month and had a great time. And are we holding out? We got 2 people holding out. What are we doing? I got 1. Let's go ahead and drop it. All right, here it comes. I'm looking for you, my friend. I'm looking for you. You don't need to do your alternate. All right, let's go ahead and do it. Let me go ahead and drop these. All right, here it is. Bang. Welcome to the 50 new members. Let's go. Just like that. Shout out to the mental chiropractor. She's hit her elusive goal. All right. Now I can't see who all gets it. Did you get it? Please tell me you got it. You were forever getting shanghaied. Let's see. Did we finally get it for you? All right. We hit the goal. Shout out to them. We hit 500. There we go. Great job, everybody. See, there we go. We did it. We did it. Shout out to y'all. Y'all are the best live chat. Absolutely, man. Why not? Why not help people that we want to see grow? Why not? We can sit around here and talk about how much we don't like Candace and she's terrible and all that kind of stuff. But why don't we like support people that we actually want to see grow? I don't want to see Candace grow anymore. I don't want to see Project Constipation grow or any of those other guys. I don't want them to grow. I want to see good content creators grow. Why don't we do that? Why don't we make great content and encourage people to keep making good content? No, you did not. No way. Are you for real? Come on. YouTube just be YouTubing though. Come on. That's no way. No way. That is, come on. No way, man. Okay. There is no rhyme or reason to how YouTube doles out those whatchalls. There's no rhyme or reason. Wow. I'm looking now on the where there isn't a rhyme or reason. It just gives them out at random. Some people get in their email, some people get it like in live right here. Dude, that is crazy work. That is some bonkers work right there. But if it matters at all, America is dying, as far as I can tell, to not get a membership. Well, I mean, there's at least that justice in the world, right? Yo, dude, I got to figure out how to make this happen, man. We got to figure out something. You might have to hit me up on the email. We might have to just go ahead and do like I don't know what we're going to do. All right. Yeah, like sometimes they'll send you in your email. If you're not logged on, it'll tell you in your email. It'll send you an email, I apologize, saying that you got it as well. Congratulations, friend. Congratulations. All right. Y'all, thank y'all so much. It's been a lot of fun. I hope my plan is tomorrow to hop back on, probably around the same time. Let me double check. I think Chief Executive Second Born has a oh no, it's not tomorrow. Never mind. We do got to work on our driving though. We had some driving practice, more driving practice for sure. Yeah. Okay. So St. Patrick's Day is Tuesday. Man, they had me thinking St. Patrick's Day was Saturday around here, because everybody and their cousin was running around here in green this past Saturday. I was thinking like, man, is it so St. Patrick's Day is on Pi Day? Like, that's crazy. No, St. Patrick's Day is on Tuesday. People just wanted to get into that ale a little bit early. That's what it is. Okay. Anyway, I gotta take Chief Executive Second Born on Wednesday. So Wednesday, I'm gonna probably do the show later. I might have to do it like 8:00, because we have somewhere to be at 5:30. So we'll cross that bridge tomorrow, and I'll let y'all know. But thank y'all again, everybody who supported the Mental Chiropractor. Thank you to everybody who's been watching and tapping in with the videos. These videos have been doing very well this month, and I'm just glad that y'all are finding value in it. I really do appreciate you all giving me your feedback and let me know like what you like. Matter of fact, here, you know what? Let's do a little. I do want to do this because I want to get y'all thoughts on this. Okay, so I did a video where I highlighted one of Candace's clones, and the overall consensus was that it was acceptable. Most people said, yeah, I like that. That was a good job, blah, blah, blah. But there were some people who said, well, you're signal boosting her clone, or you're signal boosting, you're giving, giving attention to this person. Let me pull a video clip in so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so it's this video right here with, I don't remember the young lady's name, Cece or something, or Nisi, right? And there were a few people. It wasn't a lot of people. Shout out. Thank you, Patrine. Thank you so much. Blessing 5 people with it. Blessing 5 people. Absolutely. Y'all make sure y'all say thank you. Oh, you know what? That might be it. I forgot about that. I just assumed that people knew that. You have to make sure that you're accepting of gifts and gift memberships on YouTube. You're right. If you do a quick Google search, let me see if I can find it real quick while we're talking. That is exactly right. Oh wow, this video literally says, "Why don't I get gift memberships?" This is exactly it right here. Okay, let me drop this in the chat for y'all. If you're one of those persons and you feel like you might be getting overlooked by the gift memberships, that there it is right there. That's it. That might be very beneficial. You do check this video out. Check this video right here out and make sure that you've done everything you're supposed to be doing. Air Jeff, make sure. Okay. So my question is, here we go. So here's my question about this video right here with the Candace clone. I thought it was fine. And I do want to make sure I'm listening. If people are saying, oh, you're just giving attention to her clones and blah, blah, blah. Because there were some other ones I wanted to talk about too. You know, I did talk about Project Constipation, but I didn't do like his own thumbnail and such like that. But I did do this one on this young lady right here. So if you don't mind, your overall assessment, if I do reactions or call out bad logic from Candace's clones, do you think that that is supporting and pushing them out? Now, I will tell you, the standard that I use is that they have to have a really big platform. So they have to have, 200,000 subscribers. I'm not looking, there's some people with like 8 subscribers too. You'll never see me talk about them, right? So I'm talking about people who have really big platforms. So do you feel like that's supporting and pushing them out, or what are your thoughts on that? What's going on? Edie in the building? There she is. Hey, Love Bug, how are you? So when I do a reaction or response to that, no, I think the internet will push what it's going to push, right? Okay. Okay, what we got? Sky Cheese says, I don't have any subscribers. Okay. Well, maybe we need to work that out. Right. And they already have bigger platforms, so I'm smaller than them. So it's not like I'm, giving them a leg up. I mean, I'm truly punching above my weight class. Okay, call them out. All right. Okay with it. Okay. Yeah, I think most people, the overall consensus was fine with it. I just want to make sure I was listening to if anybody said they had a problem. You forgot the question. Is there a problem with me calling out Juju? Is there a problem with me calling out persons like this young lady right here? There were a couple comments like, you shouldn't call them out because you're drawing attention to them. And I'm like, but they're a bigger platform. So I don't think I'm not gonna make that big of a difference by pointing. If anybody goes watches them, we're not talking about hundreds of thousands of people. So I'm punching outside my weight class for sure. Call her out. Drinking expired beers, man. I don't drink beer. I don't drink. Nope, call them out. Okay, cool. No way, Jose. Call them out. No problem. I like it. Okay, perfect. Okay. Well, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. That's what I was wondering. And I just want to get your thoughts, your overall consensus on it. So, okay, well, then we will continue. The mockery will continue until morale improves for sure. Absolutely. Call a spade a spade. I got you. I got you. I love it. Okay, good people. I love it. Y'all. Thank y'all so much for tapping in. I really do appreciate it. And give me your 2 cents here for sure. What does Edie say here? What's going on, Edie? Thank you. Still waiting on group therapy hoodies. Did I not make a group therapy hoodie? I did not make a group therapy hoodie. You know what? You're 1,000% correct. You're right. All right, let me get on that. I'll get on that. Well, now, I got work I need to be doing. But now, okay, never mind. I'll make sure I get it done. I'll get it done. We'll get group therapy hoodies out there as soon as possible. That shouldn't be too hard. I'll make it happen. It shall happen. It shall happen. Looking at her thumbnail, looks like Candace is pivoting again. Candace is going to pivot to wherever she thinks that she's going to get some money. That's just it. There's no other way around that. Oh, man. I don't want to do a watch party, man. I'm so tired. I'm so sick of that woman. You got it. And I gotta get ready for, yeah, like I said, I have a Bible study in 39 minutes. And I need to take Chief Executive Second Born to run somewhere. And then, yeah, I'm not gonna wait. I'm not gonna even lie to y'all. And looking at what she's talking about, it looks dumb anyway. Like I don't get no time. So I y'all go check out Cinema Shogun. He does a great recap, and you can just read it, and you don't have to pollute your ears with Candace audio desecration. Shout out to the mental chiropractor. Thank you again, everybody. Thank you so much for the very kind 10 for sure. There we go. Y'all, thank y'all for blessing her like that. Thank y'all. I'm surprised. Okay, I'm still surprised. I'm gonna have to admit, I'm a little bit surprised that she hasn't talked about aliens. I really am a little bit surprised. I really expected aliens to enter the chat a whole lot sooner and I'm kind of, that one is a little bit surprised. I was like, dang, she let me down. I just knew she was gonna talk about aliens. Somebody asked, and I'm gonna get out of here. You said, what's Candace's thumbnail? Let's see what it looks like. All right, so here, big screen. All right, so this is the latest she's ever gone. All right, so here we're no longer clearly not talking about Erika anymore. We got Trump, and who is this? Is this Mark Levin? Who's this guy right here? We got Ben, Candace, and Charlie, and then Trump talking to BB, which is very interesting. And then, of course, World War BB. Trump betrays America and Charlie Kirk for Israel. Of course, Of course. Why would she pivot and do something different? Why would she do? Have you ever kicked yourself off the chat? Have you ever done that before? Have you ever kicked yourself off of your own live stream? Well, if you just move the mouse, you too could kick your own self out of your own live stream. I don't know how I was using the little trackpad thing so I could expand the page, and I hit it and the mouse went to leave the chat and kick me out. Leave the stream, kick me out. You too could do that. I don't even know what to do with that one. How do you fix that one, right? How do you rectify that one? Anyway, y'all, I want you to have a great rest of the night. I will be back, Lord willing, tomorrow at 5 o'clock-ish. And who knows? Maybe I might jump on and talk about something else, because I do want to talk about the NBA and that Magic City night. Tonight is the Monday. This is the Monday that was supposed to be the Magic City night. So if more things come up about it, I might talk about that tomorrow. So don't be surprised if I come a little bit earlier. Self-banning is crazy work. Y'all, thank y'all so much. Everybody, appreciate you for the very kind and very gracious supers. Thank you, Greg, for the 5. Imagine what Charlie could have accomplished if he had lived to be 50 instead of 31. I mean, yeah, we'd have at least 3 more presidencies that we could go through. Man, that'd be amazing. That's an interesting thought experiment, to say the least. Thank you so much, Patrine, for the very kind 5. If you did get a membership from her, make sure you say thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Edie, for the 10. She said, of course, still waiting on my group therapy hoodies. I will work on those tonight after we get back from the store. I will make sure they're ready. And then, of course, thank you so much for the mental chiropractor. And shout out to her hitting her goal of 500 subscribers. Y'all, thank y'all so much for checking out our content. Make sure y'all go ahead and flood our content with green hearts as well. So thank y'all so much. Everybody have a blessed and wonderful evening. I'll see you all real soon. Grace and peace. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Witt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment, because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.